Noon to you from a hot and breezy open space park, Sioux Center, Iowa. Great Plains Athletic on the Briar Chargers in G-Pack action. The Dordt defenders coming off a win over Northwestern last Saturday night, 21-20, while the Briar Chargers were turning away Dakota Wesleyan 21-7 to maintain a spot in the top four in the Great Plains Athletic Conference. They stand 4-1. The lead, the front runner at their Western and Orange. A little bit later on in our pregame show, we'll check in with Shane Ladaghi. He's the head football coach at Briar in year number 5. And then we'll set the table for the contest today. Dordt versus Open Space Park in 2 minutes. For the Dordt Briarcliff football game, and we are going to talk with Coach Shane Ladaghi. Shane is the head football coach for the Briarcliff University Chargers. 4-1 start, and Coach, I've got to ask you, 4-1 start. Did you see this coming with your team? Were you did you anticipate this start to the season for your team?
I don't know that I anticipate maybe record. We don't talk a lot about that in our program, but I did think we had a shot to make some significant improvements this year. And where we're at now, how our teams played early, how we had in fall camp and our summer preparation, to be honest, I'm probably not shocked where we're at. But know that we have a long way to go still to be where we want to be. But we're happy where we've started, and it's been a really fun group to coach.
What specifically, one, gave you hope, and two, has you where you're at in terms of thinking that, being in this spot now? What are some of the specifics that go into that?
Well, one, I thought we had really good retention within our roster despite not a very good year last year. I thought our guys came back hungry. I thought we had a phenomenal winter. in our weight room, and with our culture development program that we do. And then we had a great summer. I mean, we had over 70 guys that stuck around in Sioux City all summer working out consistently. And I thought those things really played into giving us a shot to take a big step forward. And we just brought back a lot of key pieces and a lot of key leaders that have done exactly what we expected them to do.
Talking with Shane Ledaggy, he's the head football coach for the Briar University Chargers. I take a look at the season stats, and you get about 5 games into the year, Coach, and suddenly the numbers begin to mean something because it's no longer anomalies, but it's trends. And I see your offense scoring 25 points a game. As I watch college football, if you can score more than 21, 22 points a game on average, you're going to give yourself a chance in most games. Tell me about your offense and what the strengths of it are.
Yeah, I've been really pleased with our offense. I think, number one, we're doing a great job possessing the football. We're the number 1 team in the country in time of possession right now. And even if we aren't finishing drives with scores, we're eating away some clock. That's really helping our defense. I think Brock Saya at quarterback's doing a great job making good decisions and keeping us out of negative plays. We're running the ball more effectively. I think we still got a lot of room to grow there, but there's some more consistency to it this year than we've seen in the past. And we've been really good on the perimeter with our playmakers. Kamani Flurme's played really well. Ezra Heiner's been great for us at receiver, and then Stephen Whiting has been really good for us at tight end. So we got some weapons that we could spread the ball out to. And then I think we're, again, just kind of taking a little bit more control of the line of scrimmage. I think we still got a ways to go there, but we're seeing some real progress with that.
Tell me about Brock Saya. What is the strength of his game? Is it decision-making? Does he get the ball out quickly? Does he take what's there? What's the strength of his game as quarterback?
I think, one, he's a really good decision maker. I think he puts us in good situations. And then I think he's about as good as anybody at extended plays. He gets somebody in the backfield and maybe some protection breaks down or there is some good coverage. He's able to scramble around. He keeps his eyes downfield. He's able to make some plays on the run, throwing the ball, and he's also had some really good plays using his legs and scrambling around and getting some first downs. And he tends to really show up on those third down situations. And so he's got to continue to do those things for us to continue to give us a shot to win some football games. But we've been really pleased where he's at right now.
On defense, it appears you are putting pressure on quarterbacks. 14 sacks. You forced 7 interceptions, 4 fumbles. Your defense has been doing a lot of things well as you've gotten off to this 4-1 start.
Yeah, it's, to be honest with you, night and day from a year ago. I think we're better up front. We're deeper up front. We feel comfortable playing 7, 8 guys on the D-line pretty consistently, and I think it's helped us stay fresh. I think we have some really good pass rushers in that group, and we've done a good job getting ourselves into third down situations on defense where we can get into some of our pressure packages and win in those. And I think we've been more consistent on the back end of being able to force some of those coverage type sacks and making the quarterback hang on to the football. And then we've tackled at a way higher rate than we did a year ago. Our missed tackles through 5 games are almost cut in half to what they were in 2024. And those things, again, have to continue for us to continue to have some wins here. And we've also been really good in the red zone on defense. We kind of have had this bend, don't break mentality. We had 2 really, really big turnovers in the red zone last week, and those things have been really valuable for us.
Yeah, your team, it seems, has done what it has needed to. You're right there with Mount Marty. You pull away in the latter stages of that contest. You get a 21-7 win over Dakota Wesleyan. Biggest thing that I'm seeing, Coach, is that when your team has had to make plays, more often than not, it seems like it's rising to the challenge. Is that the veteran portion? I mean, you're in year 5 now with this program. Is it a matter of just the time that you spent with this group and built a program? Is that what it comes to, or is that a factor at least?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a completely different feel on our sidelines this year. We've had every game. We've really had some point where there's been some adversity that we've had to overcome to get us, to get in the win column. And I just think the confidence that our guys, the way they talk to each other, the way they act, there's true belief. I felt like last year, the first time something kind of went wrong, it was kind of this, oh no, here we go again. Where this year, it's just, let's go attack it. And there's belief. We go back to that Mount Marty game. We got ourselves in a 3rd and 14 on offense in a tie ball game where we've just given up a couple scores. And I'm hollering, hey, punt team hot, punt team be ready. And, our starting nose guard looks at me and he goes, we're not going to need this. Brock's going to make a play. And sure enough, he does. And there just seems to be a little bit different belief with our team this year. They rise to the challenge. I think we really challenged them all off season. With what we did in the weight room and our running, but also what we did in our culture development. And we're seeing some of the fruits of our labor with that. And honestly, this is, now in year 5, everybody in this program is somebody that our staff has recruited. And we had some guys from the previous regime that really did a great job for us, and I love them to death and did a lot of good. But these are all guys we identified and wanted here. And I think they take on the identity of myself and the rest of our staff, and I think that's really important with just the cohesion and how things work. And I think they're people that fit Briarcliff. I don't know that was always the case early here. And when I got here, I thought, there's just a lot of picking people to be here. But I think we've done a really good job of attracting the people that really fit us and fit our university. And I think those things are starting to show up now in the win and loss column.
Shane Ledaggy is the head football coach for Briarcliff. Okay, you're playing Dordt today. Your game plan with Dordt, what do you have to do well to have success with Dordt on Saturday afternoon?
We got to play really physical, and we have to be really disciplined, especially on defense. They do a great job with their triple option, and we got to be able to be gap sound, and we have to tackle really well. But Dordt, more than ever before, is really doing a good job throwing the football around. And so our ability to be able to make the quarterback uncomfortable and make some plays in the pass game is going to be of our utmost priority. And then we just have to stay on schedule on offense and be able to continue to convert third downs. And we're one of the number 1 teams in the red zone, so we get our opportunities down in the red zone. We got to make those count as well.
Shane Ledaggy, head football coach for Briarcliff. Congratulations on the start so far. See you on Saturday, and best wishes to you preparing for that one and as the season progresses. Thanks for taking a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
That's Coach Shane Ledaggy. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with Coach Joel Penner right after this 2-minute timeout.
Welcome to Sioux Center, Iowa. Life in the center of everything. Where we connect with friends, coworkers, family, and the great outdoors. Knowing that in Sioux Center, you're never far from making the next great memory. And we grow great companies that make cutting-edge breakthroughs to make life better here and around the world. And when it's time to play, we keep friendship, family, and a bright future at the center of everything.
Hey Defender Nation, my name is Darren Kaiser and I'm excited to serve as the new athletic director at Dordt University. Thank you for tuning in to the Dordt Media Network and supporting Defender Athletics. As an athletic department, we are committed to the Defender way. This means we are committed to the Great Commission, developing servant leaders, the academic development of our student athletes, and the pursuit of championships. I'm eager to join with you in supporting our athletes this year. Thank you for watching Defender Athletics on the Dordt Media Network. Go Defenders!
To Piper. Piper up the middle. Piper still on his feet. Touchdown, Defender. Cade Roller to the goal line. Touchdown, Defenders.
Homegrown.
Community.
Family.
Innovators.
Growth.
Faith.
Legacy.
We are dedicated to egg.
This is a Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast.
As the pregame show continues, we will check in with Dordt University football coach Joel Penner. The Dordt Defenders coming off a win last week over Northwestern and now prepare for the Briar Cliff Chargers. And Coach Penner, big win last Saturday. How long do you give the guys to enjoy that? How long does the coaching staff enjoy that for whatever that means, and then turn the page for the upcoming game another 7 days later? How long do you enjoy that?
Well, our normal process is once we get to Monday, the past is the past, and we're on to the next opponent. I think the only thing I did different this week was I gave about 10 minutes of time for us to do some reflection in our Monday afternoon meeting. Just wanted to honor the moment and, just talk about some reflections, use the moment, I guess, and then after that, we turn the page and we're not looking back.
I want to ask, and maybe you're going to say, you know what, that's a team thing. But what are in broad terms, what are the types of things that come out in a 10-minute reflection time like that?
Well, I focused on kind of a macro and a micro. The macro is, hey, you changed the narrative. Hey, you made history. Look how much joy you brought. We talked about John Boss. And we talked about Liam Sorensen, and we talked about perspective. Talked about Greg Zonefeld. I don't know if you know Greg, but I had a chance to give Greg a hug and say hello. This is probably his last time out visiting Dordt, and that's what he wanted to do one more time, and it was just really meaningful. And I wanted the players to know that what we do on the field, it affects people, and I wanted them to know that. On the micro level, we made a lot of mistakes in that football game that were self-inflicted. I mean, you could just go down the list, and that seems to be one of our problems in that matchup is how many self-inflicted errors that we make. But I talked about the difference in this game being the fact that while we still had those, we also made more plays than we had errors, and that balance is the key, If we could just eliminate half of those self-inflicted errors, we don't have to win a game in the fashion that we did. And so that was the reflection on the just more mechanical aspect. But like I said, right after that, it was like, all right, we're going to get to the film. We're going to talk about how to get better. And we got a really good team coming in this week, and we need to focus on that.
Tell me about the Chargers, and they are off to a great start. I've talked to some people, and I've said, I really just don't know. It's odd to say 4 or 5 games into the season. It's like, okay, who is this Briar Cliff team? When you look at them, who are they? What are they?
Yeah, they're an emerging quality team. Their tests have been somewhat limited. They did not have a great game against Morningside. And then they've played really, really well in every other game. So,
been very opportunistic, it appears, as well, where it may be instances where they're getting outplayed, but they make just enough plays, it seems. That's what I have seen. Am I on the right track?
You're definitely on the right track. I would also highlight the impact of a quarterback, Their quarterback play is really good, and they're throwing for a ton of yards. They've got a wide receiver and a tight end who their offense kind of runs through. And like I've said up to you a lot, it's not about what plays do you stop, it's what players do you need to be aware of. And so that's how we've approached it.
What do you need to do well in this contest? Anything that I need to look at specifically for Dordt to have success with Briar Cliff?
Yeah, I mean, we need to have a good start. We need to establish physicality from the beginning. I think box play is going to be really key. We're watching the wind and the forecast. Don't know how much it'll affect things for us. I'm really thankful that we prioritize running the ball because it seems like about half of our football games we're dealing with 20 to 30 mile per hour winds, and I think that's just something that we're used to. And so I think the establishment of a physical, I think this game is going to be really important in the trenches. Obviously, the way that they score is in the air, but if we can disrupt quarterback rhythm with a pass rush, that's going to be key. And then on offense, we have to be efficient when we hand the ball off.
It's Coach Joel Penner. More on the pregame show right after this.
Nation, did you know that Dordt Athletics has over 700 student athletes that make up less than 50% of the student body? We want to invite you to join the Defender Gold Club and support those student athletes, our staff, and coaches this season. Your charitable donation helps advance Defender Athletics and the Defender Way. Last year, we were just shy of 900 members in the Defender Gold Club. Help us reach that 1,000 member mark this year. By becoming a member, you will directly support the student athletes and coaches here at Dordt University. Thanks for watching. Go Defenders.
We strive to build community from before you step foot on campus to years after you graduate. We want to give Dordt students the chance to live and learn together and create meaningful, lifelong relationships that are rooted in faith.
Welcome back to Open Space Park, Sioux Center, Iowa. The Wireless World pregame show continues, and we've got about 5 minutes left till kickoff, and I am joined, as promised, by Kyle Achterhoff. Kyle making it back to the broadcast booth after last Saturday night. And Kyle, you heard the pregame show, and you heard me ask Coach Joel Penner about last Saturday, and there is no ignoring the fact that this is one that the Defenders have hunted for a couple of years. They finally catch that one. You heard his answer on, okay, you have to acknowledge it, you have to reflect on it, but then there's a time to move on. Have you been in those situations?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And is that what you need to do?
You do. You have to turn the page at some point, and like Coach said, it needs to be some point on Monday where you get the guys refocused. Because it's a tough situation. That game, as emotionally exhausting as that was, and honestly, even all the post-game stuff, the interviews, the TV cameras showing up at practice, all that extra stuff the following week can kind of just kind of be exhausting to the team, right? And so to get them to refocus, concentrate on the next game, the next opponent, especially when you have a quality one like this Briar Cliff football team.
I made the comment to Coach Penner. I said when we got all done with the interview and we were all finished, I said, "Are you ready to just get going?" And he said, as crazy as it sounds, yes. Very simply, yeah. I'm ready to let's go to the next game. And you don't have long to wait. And as you said, a good opponent in Briar Cliff. Briar Cliff, a team that shows just how important that quarterback play is.
Yeah, they have they're getting really, really good quarterback play, and that makes any team dangerous. When we've seen it the last number of years, just that those teams that are at the top of the conference year in and year out, it's typically because of really good quarterback play. We're experiencing that with Noah and how he's playing this year. And Briar Cliff is kind of reaping the same benefits by having a quality quarterback.
They have Brock Saya. Saya is completing nearly 70% of his passes. He has a couple of targets, Florme being one, the tight end being another one. He is Stephen Whiting, and so those will be two players to watch on offense. For the Briar Cliff defense, they haven't done a great job of stopping the run so far, but they have been a bend-but-don't-break team, and they've been very opportunistic. They have won some 1- and 2-score games that could have gone either way.
Yeah, and you heard their coach talk in the pregame about how good they've been playing in the red zone, and that's where they've really taken advantage of situations. They get down into the red area, so when they have opportunities to score, it's typically been with touchdowns, and so they're putting points on the board at the right time and just enough to walk away with a 3-1 record. And yeah, it's probably been a little while since they've seen that kind of success over at Briar Cliff. But, yeah, they're doing some things by just playing good, solid football.
They are 4-1 entering play this afternoon. This is one of the games that we will keep an eye on, a relatively close eye on in terms of conference play. The other one that kind of piques my interest is how does Hastings bounce back with Northwestern and Concordia at Mount Marty. That's probably, that one and this one are the matchups of the two teams with the best records in the contests.
Yeah, and all teams that seem to be at least playing really well right at the start of the football season. And, yeah, only, a third of the way through or whatever. It's tough to really get a gauge on where everybody's at, but this week will show us a lot.
Briar Cliff will be kicking off, and this will be Jacob Myers. Myers handles the kicking and the punting, and I would imagine this is going to be a common theme throughout, and Briar Cliff doesn't waste any time. They bring one of their players off the end of the line, and they say that Chase Montaigne, you're going to hold on this kickoff, and the defenders are back to receive. And for the defenders back, you've got Tyler Mantle, and you've got Keenan Velverty, and with the wind at the defender back to start this afternoon's football game. Jacob Myers with the kick, and it hangs up in the air. Ton of hang time. It's taken by Velverty at the 25-yard line to the 30, and made the first man miss, and he is brought down at the 33-yard line, and not a deep kick, obviously, into the wind, but good hang time, and almost felt like a punt coming down, and Briar Cliff pretty good coverage. Dordt will start first down and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
Yeah, and if Dordt gets any other opportunities, and maybe it's hopefully in the second half where they're receiving the ball with the wind, those can be a little bit tougher to judge and to field. But if you get a good initial block up front, it could also lead to big returns.
The defenders, Noah Strickfadden is your quarterback, and Strickfadden turns, hands, gives to Velverty. Velverty tripped up at the 35-yard line, falls forward to the 36, and it'll be second down and 7. So the Dordt defenders positive play on first down. We will probably not see Connor Dodd today. Sounds like he got banged up early in the game with Northwestern last Saturday night. Played through a pretty significant amount of pain to get here. We're not quite ready for Daniel Dickerson yet. I understand he's getting closer, so we might see a pretty steady diet of Keenan Velverty and Brendan Piper here this afternoon.
Yeah, thankful we have nice depth at the running back position because we have two of probably our better players injured right now.
Pass is incomplete. Strickfadden on the pass attempt to Elliott Beal on second down and 7. That will set up third down and 7, and just a little bit of a short-armed throw by Strickfadden that time. And now the defenders will be facing 3rd down and 7. I thought I saw some of the rubber pellets bounce when the pass was coming in. Some of the faithful do not agree. I was thinking gut reaction as it happened, incomplete pass.
Yeah, it looked like a short hopped, and, whether you're throwing with the wind or into it, it's challenging because, I know Noah's thinking with the wind, I got to keep this down or it's going to sail. So you got to really play that a little bit.
The defenders trying to move the pile and close to a 1st down, and they're going to be short of the 1st down by about a yard, the way it looks, at their own 40. Well, they're going to mark them at the 41-yard line, 42, and the defenders in their own territory, they are going to send the punt team onto the field. Now the defenders will try to catch them in transition. They will send the
now the offense is
back on the field. So the offense back on the field with 20 seconds remaining on the play clock. Plenty of time. It'll be 4th down and 1. Dordt has it at their own 42-yard line. Noah Strickfaden will line up under center. Very rare that we see this. Now Strickfaden, and we've got movement on the line, and that's going to be a flag, I believe, against the defenders. False start. In all likelihood, and the defenders will have 5 extra yards to work with as they punt the football away. I'm not sure they had any indication of running that play, and as it is, they get a penalty. It'll be 4th down and 6.
Yeah, it looked like they were probably going to try to draw the defense off sides, and I think the motion was actually in the backfield. Looked like whoever
Keenan
was in
rocked a little bit. So Roscoe will be punting from the 37-yard line. Briarcliff, this will be with the wind, so at the 37-yard line of Dordt to punt. Orozco gets the snap. It's clean. And a wobbler that will drive inside the 10 and tumble into the end zone for a touchback. And the Dordt defenders will send the defense onto the field. 1st down and 10 for the Chargers at their own 20-yard line, working into the wind. Orozco got that one up into the jet stream, and that one 57 yards. About 50 of it in the air, and goes into the end zone for the touchback and a net of 37 yards on the play.
Yeah, pretty healthy wind out here, and it's definitely going to affect the kick game. Probably how they're on the field right now is how I anticipated the start of the game. With Dordt having the win at their back, I'd assume that their defense would have been out there, but now we see the Briarcliff offense.
Brock Saya is the quarterback, sends a man in motion. That's the tight end Whiting, hands it off and trying to get to the edges. Thomas with positive yardage, picks up a 1st down, picks up 13 on the play. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Briarcliff Chargers at their own 34-yard line as the defenders finally corral the running back, Chase Thomas.
Yeah, we talk about the strength of the Briarcliff pass game, but you cannot forget about the run, and you have to do a good job of stopping the run first, especially with an offense going into the wind. You want to stop that run, force them to try to throw it into it.
Saya has Thomas in the backfield with him on his right. The Dordt defenders with 3 down linemen. They have an upright defensive end on the far side. Saya turns, hands, gives to Thomas, and that time the line collapses, nothing there. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be 2nd down and 10. The defenders stuffed the run that time. So for the defenders, you've got a freshman lining up at linebacker. That is David Bowman from San Antonio, Texas. He's going to line up in place of Henderson. Henderson banged up last week as well. That was a physical game with Northwestern and took its toll, and the defenders have to move people around. So Chase Thomas, a couple of carries for the Briarcliff Chargers so far. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Saya sends a man in motion. That's Fleurme. Back to passes Saya. Saya batted down, and they'll rule it an incomplete pass. And the Dordt defenders putting pressure on the Chargers. Caleb Weinberg applying the pressure, and that'll set up 3rd down and 10 for the Chargers as the Dordt defense will try to get off of the field.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for the Dordt defensive line to collapse that pocket. Saya is obviously a really good thrower. He passes the ball well, but he's also been known to find a little room and scramble for some yardage.
Joe Johnson is on the defensive end, the near side. Nolan Buchholz will line up at a defensive tackle. Interior lineman Derek Pop is also interior lineman. Creeping up to the line of scrimmage will be Isaac Kakmarinsky. Brock Saya facing 3rd down and 10 at his own 34-yard line. He's done a good job of extending plays for the Chargers. Empties the backfield, sends Thomas in motion to the near side in the slot. Saya waiting. Saya back to pass. Dordt sending pressure. Dumps it off underneath to the tight end Whiting, and Whiting is brought down at the 41-yard line, and the Chargers will be forced to punt into the wind, facing 4th down and 3. And this is going to be interesting going into the wind. Do you play it? Typically you would punt in this situation. Facing 4th down and 3 into a stiff wind. The net gain is not great.
I think if Briar
we'll see how they play it out.
Yeah, and I think if they were in a little bit better field position, we'd probably see the offense still on the field.
Line of scrimmage is the 42-yard line. They're facing 4th down and 3. Dordt puts on pressure. Kick takes a Briarcliff bounce. Velverty fields it at the 35-yard line, and he is wrestled down at the 42. And Keenan Velverty, fearless back there, grabs it out of the air, probably saves him. He gains about 7 yards, probably saved about 10 yards on the back end. Those are the kind of things that result in about a 10 to 15 yard difference for Dort's start on this drive at their own 42.
Yeah, and a smart play. The ball landed first. The coverage, the initial coverage kind of ran past the ball, so it gave Velverty an opportunity to field it clean, and not give up some extra yards.
1st down and 10 for the defender. Strickfaden sends Flora in motion left to right. Hands it off, Piper. Piper, the ball carrier. Piper maybe picks up 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 8, so the defenders with positive yardage on the first play from scrimmage. Not a big play by any means. And it's going to be 2nd down and long for the defenders. And this is where Dordt, their last series, an incomplete pass, kind of put them in a passing situation. They tried to run it and came up short. So facing 2nd down and 9, you want a chunk here a little. You want 5 or 6 if you can.
Yeah, you want to get into a 3rd down that's manageable, and 3rd and medium to short would be ideal. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw another run out of the offense.
2nd down and 9. They hand it off, and up the middle, that is Tommy Fritz. And Fritz Jr. with the carry out to the midfield stripe, just shy of the midfield stripe. It's going to be 3rd down, and as you said, relatively short, medium, 3rd down and 3. And the playbook is open for the defenders at this point. And I would imagine they can also think about in terms of 4 downs.
Yeah, I think they're to that point where, they were close to going for it on the last series, so we might see a 4th down play if they don't pick this up.
3rd down and 3. Strickfaden looks to the sideline. 10 seconds on the play clock. Piper is in the backfield. Looker is to the near side. Got the tight end to the left for the defenders, actually running 2 tight ends for Dordt right now. They hand it off to Piper, and Dordt trying to get a push up front. And the head linesman on the near side, they're going to mark him just short of the 1st down, it appears, by less than a yard. It's going to be 4th down, and it doesn't appear the defenders are going to flinch here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 1 at the 49. If they pick up the 48, they've got a 1st down. Defenders have not been able to establish the run up in between the tackles so far. See if we see some option here. Flora lines up in the slot to the far side. Strickfaden looks to the sideline. 12 on the play clock. First quarter, no score. Hand off Piper. Piper, the ball carrier. Piper bounces it outside, gets a block. He's to the 40, inside the 40, still on his feet to the 36-yard line. And the Dordt defenders, Brendan Piper, started in between the tackles and then veered off to the right and was able to bounce it outside and pick up a Dordt 1st down.
Yeah, fortunately he was able to avoid some penetration off of the right edge. Briarcliff had a blitzer coming off of that edge, kind of a run blitzer, and he was there to make the play, but Piper did a nice job of shaking that tackle and getting good positive yards.
Brendan not completely healthy either. He's been dealing. He got nicked up early in the year as well. 1st down and 10 for the defenders at the 37-yard line. And they turn, fake the handoff. Strickfaden pass out into the sticks. Incomplete, intended for Elliott Beal. So Beal unable to make the one-handed grab near the 25-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and while Dordt has the wind at their back, you might see them stretch the field a little bit. Got to keep this defense pretty honest because they're packing a lot of guys close to the line of scrimmage, really attempting to stop the run.
Wind speeds at between 20 and 30 miles per hour at kickoff. Fake the handoff, Strickfaden. Passes over to Looker. Looker to the 35, to the 30, turns the corner, 25, and dragged down They're going to say he was out of bounds right at the 25-yard line, and that's a 12-yard pickup and a first down for the defenders. Had a blocker out in front of him and cleared space and enough room for a first down.
Yeah, nice job of setting up the block, kind of that inside-out move, and was able to get around the edge and pick up the first down.
Well within field goal range here. 8 minutes left to play first quarter. Dordt and Briar Cliff scoreless. Dort's second possession of the football game. Each team with a punt thus far. Strickfaden turns. Now he's going to run option, pitches it over to Fritz, and Fritz is forced out of bounds. Not much there that time for the defenders, and Briar Cliff's Kelvin Booker coming up to make the stop on the near side. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, Briar Cliff had both the outside backer and the corner there on pitch support. Did a good job of coming up and making the tackle.
Second down and 10 for the defenders. We're past the midpoint of the first quarter. Not much stoppage in play. A couple of incomplete passes so far, and that is it. The Dordt defenders and Briar Cliff 0-0 our score thus far. 0-0 our score. Strickfaden fakes the handoff. He's going to pass it to the far side. Beal. Pass incomplete at the 20-yard line, and Beal took a pretty good shot in the ribs that time by Briar Cliff's Jaden Self, and that'll set up third down and 10 for the defenders again at the 25-yard line. Well, the defenders deep in Briar Cliff territory, and actually it'll be third down and 11, so they ruled that first play a loss of 1 on the carry by Fritz. Piper and Looker to the near side. They've got 3 receivers to the far side, including Liam Edwards, Ben Flora, and Elliott Beal. Back to pass is Strickfaden. Strickfaden pass over the middle, and they're not going to make the call. It certainly looked like Max Rascone. A lot of contact before the ball arrived, and the defenders will send the field goal unit onto the field. Stephen Leinen will try to take the 0 off of the board, and the Briar Cliff defense holds. And they force Dordt into a field goal try here with the wind at Leinen's back. This will be a 44-yarder. See how much the wind affects it if there's any side to side. He'll kick it out of the hold of Connor Stephens. We had movement along the line of scrimmage. No flags come out. The line drive kick, plenty of distance. And now we do have a flag on the far side. So we do have a flag that came in late, it appeared. Did not stop the play, for whatever that is worth.
Yeah, I think maybe Briar Cliff was in the neutral zone at the snap. Probably going to decline it and take the points.
Yeah, you don't take the points off the board much, so the defenders will decline it. Dordt takes a 3-0 lead. Dordt leads 3-0 on the Stephen Leinen 44-yard field goal. Let's take a 1-minute break. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute.
Broadcast brought to you by 712 Nutrition. Transform your health and wellness with 712 Nutrition. Stop in today for healthy, delicious protein shakes bundled with a supportive community. Start feeling your best today.
Find furniture, mattresses, flooring, paint, and window treatments at your local Furniture Mart. They are family-owned and located in downtown Sioux Center. German Farmers Mutual, protecting the farm and home since 1891. Northwest Iowa's local insurance partner. Online at germanfarmers.com.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Ployne Publishing, quality printing from design to delivery.
The Greenhouse, located in Hall, Iowa, bringing you amazing coffee, energy drinks, breakfast, lunch, and so much more. A big city feel, only 10 minutes away from Sioux Center, with a second location opening soon in Sanborn.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Huber's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning of Orange City. Whether you're looking for repairs, replacement, or maintenance for your air conditioning or heating system, Huber's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning of Orange City will exceed your expectations.
Stephen Leinen's 44-yard field goal gives Dordt a 3-0 lead, and we were debating in between the score and the kickoff. Do you kick it through the end zone, or do you try to pin them a little deep with the wind at your back? Well, we got our answer. You kick it through the end zone, and you kick it off of the track. You kick it over into the practice field. That's what you do today.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm not sure Leinen can kick it short.
Wow.
You know, it's that strong of a wind where I think if you get it up, and yeah, maybe best just to keep the time on the clock, and line them up here for the defense.
First down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Saya is your quarterback. Saya has two receivers to the right, inside handoff, and the defenders stuff it. I believe that was Jamin Stewart plugging things up in the middle. Number 34, want to make sure that was. I saw the 4. There he is. Number 34, Jamin Stewart, the Webster City native, and talked to Jamin this week. He's going to be our halftime interview this week. Always nice when those guys make a play and I can talk about them leading into it. And Jamin Stewart that time plugging things up. Second down and 10. No gain on the play for Briar Cliff. Saya sends a man in motion. That's Hensley. Back to pass Saya. Saya's pass battered away, and that was Jamin Stewart again knocking it away. And Jamin Stewart almost knocked it up in the air and trying to use his basketball skills to come down with it, but it falls to the ground incomplete. And that's the second time we've seen it where the defenders have gotten that hand up and knocked a pass down.
Yeah, and I think, a really good job of coaching those guys up front about getting their hands up, because you got to think, especially with Briar Cliff going into the wind, they're going to be thinking shorter pass routes, quicker out for the quarterback, and Saya wants to get rid of that thing quick. And great job by Jamin getting his hands up and almost making a play in terms of catching the ball.
It's a big deal if you can force a punt here. Dordt putting pressure on Saya under pressure. He scrambles away from a man, and he's going to be dragged down. Isaac Kekmarinsky doesn't let him get away. The interior lineman forcing him to the outside, and Kekmarinsky tracks him down, and it'll be a punt into the wind for the Chargers after a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, and Saya does a good job of shedding one tackler, but, Kekmarinsky just being relentless on his pass rush and was able to drag down the quarterback for a sack and, force a punt into the wind again. Hopefully we end up with good starting field position.
5:45 left to go in the first quarter, a punt into the wind. 19-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Dordt sent pressure the last time. This is Jacob Myers. Keenan Velverty with his heels at the 45-yard line of Briar Cliff. And this one flutters up into the air, and this is one of those getaway balls. And the defenders, Briar Cliff, lets it bounce. And that'll be a net of about 10 yards by the time it's all said and done. And you got to rugby kick it today, or you got to keep it low. You got to drive it.
Yeah, you got to drive it into the wind and hope you get a little bit of a roll out of it, because none of the punts into the wind are going to net a lot of change of field position. So you want a little bit better than 10, and hey, just a great opportunity right now for the Dordt defenders starting at the Briar Cliff 31.
So I would say Dordt starts the drive in Stephen Leinen field goal territory. Obviously, the defenders want more than a field goal on this drive. Here is Strickfaden running option. He's to the 25-20, turns out the corner 15, and a hard hit at the 14-yard line. Pretty good tackle that time by Johnny Bowser. And a player for Briar Cliff shaken up on the play. That's Kelvon Booker. And it'll be first down and 10 for the defenders at the 14-yard line. And the training staff for Briar Cliff is up off of the bench to attend to Booker. Booker, I think, might have got some friendly fire on that one.
Yeah, there's a lot of white jerseys there at the point of attack at the tackle, and looked like he might have taken a shot from one of his own players.
Yeah, the Bowser came up and got a pretty good lick on Strickfaden, got him right around the waist, and first I thought, well, let's see if he pops up or not. And right now, Looker, and we can't see what they're tending to him with. And now Shane Ladaghi will take the stroll across the 50 yards from the Briar Cliff bench all the way over to the Dordt side of the field. And the defenders with a 3-0 lead and 5:02 remaining in the first quarter. Pretty good field position now. Started this drive deep in Briar Cliff territory after the short punt, and Noah Strickfaden on the option, able to set up first down and 10 for the defenders at the 14-yard line. And Booker walking off of the field rather gingerly. We'll make a note of that. Number 3, we'll see if we see him come back in. Might be a shoulder the way it looks. That's the telltale sign is the head coming back, and that really ginger walk is oftentimes the sign of a sprained shoulder.
Yeah, and honestly, most football players would like any injury to be above the waist. So hopefully we can see him back. Hopefully he does all right, kind of recovering from this, and whether it's shoulder and hopefully even less than that, wind or just a little bit of a stinger. But
yeah, it looks like he's favoring that left arm. We'll see if we see number 3 back in. Strickfaden sends the tight end left to right. That's Snyder. Back to pass Strickfaden. Strickfaden passes over to Beal. Beal inside the 10, struggling forward 5, and short of the first down marker by about a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 1. And the defenders, that diagonal pass, and got the blocker out in front of him right away. Didn't get called for a pick or anything like that, but able to set up a 9-yard pickup on the play to Elliott Beal.
Yeah, really good perimeter blocking there, and allowed Beal to get a few yards after the catch.
4th down and 1 at the 5. Playbook wide open here. Keenan Valverde in the backfield. Strickfaden turns, hands, gives to Valverde. Valverde inside the 5, straight up the middle down to the 3-yard line. And a first down on the play. So it'll set up 1st down and goal to go for the defenders inside the 5-yard line. Now, I'm checking the offensive line, Kyle, and it appears that there was some question as to whether Joel Akers would be playing today. He dealing with something on the foot the way it sounded, and I think we have our backup center in. I don't believe that's Joel out there. Pass into the end zone, going up for it is Beal. Beal comes down with it, and they're going to rule incomplete. Thought he had it. Ball comes loose as he tumbles to the ground. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go, and that is indeed Evan Beck at center for the defenders.
Right, yeah, we got nice depth in the offensive line, and so you see a little bit of shifting with Beck sliding into the center role and moving a couple different guys in on the right side.
I think we've got Colin Friesen out there possibly on the right side.
Yeah, I believe he's at right guard.
Yeah. So Strickfaden after the incomplete pass is Valverde behind him. It'll be 2nd down and goal to go from the 3. Handoff Valverde. Valverde left side of the line, and that's a pretty good side of the line. And the ball comes loose, and Valverde picks it up. I think he was in anyhow, but the ball came loose. He scoops it up. Touchdown defenders.
Yep, got to take care of the ball there, especially down near the goal line. Good job, actually, by Briar Cliff of pulling that thing loose. He was kind of going backwards, so it was borderline whether or not he was crossing the goal line or not, but he was able to field it himself for the score.
The 2 Ethans over there on the left side, Hansen and Hoyer, pretty good line to run behind, and the defenders have established a 9-0 lead with 3:21 left to go in the first quarter, and the defenders with a chance to add to the lead with Stephen Leinen kicking with the wind on the PAT. I think PATs are going to be an adventure even into the wind this afternoon. Leinen out of the hold of Connor Stephens. Snap is down, kick is up, and it's through. And the Dordt defenders have a 10-0 lead. 10-0 our score late in the first quarter. Dordt back-to-back scores. Let's take a break. We'll be back with the kickoff right after this 1-minute timeout.
Today's broadcast brought to you by Cruz & Cruz, PC, certified public accountants. Offices in Sioux Center and Lars. Helping you attain your financial goals is their commitment. Today's broadcast brought to you by Joyner and Zwart Dentistry, providing implants, dentures, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere. Today's broadcast brought to you by Ski-Bout Window and Door, your local window experts. Whether you're building or replacing, Ski-Bout Window and Door has the products, people, and knowledge to get the job done right. See Ski-Bout and see the difference. NewTek is your partner for success when purchasing equipment for construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and other industries. Don't miss the opportunity to transform your business and redefine your productivity standards with NewTek.
And today's live stream broadcast brought to you by Verhoof Automotive. Verhoof Automotive in Sioux Center is your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, and Buick dealer. Verhoof Automotive, worth the drive from anywhere.
Dordt leads 10-0. Stephen Leinen kicking. The defenders, 3:21 left to play in the first quarter. Leinen end-over-end kick. Pretty good target practice.
He's going after the cameraman there in the end zone.
Those are expensive cameras, mind you. We'd prefer that he aims a little, misses by a little more than that, but off of the camera stand in the end zone, and it'll be first down and 10 for the Chargers at their own 25-yard line. You laugh after the couple of weeks that we've had in terms of equipment. I like the stuff that is working to keep working.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
First down and 10 for the defenders. It's a good thing I can laugh. Brock Saya is your quarterback. Split backfield. First down and 10. Chargers trying to get something going on offense, trailing 10-0. Handoff to Thomas. Thomas weaving his way forward, picks up 8 yards on the play, 9 yards. It'll be second down and 1, and the Chargers will be able to take it under 3 minutes here in the first quarter. And we talked about it, man. If you get a stop right away, you maybe use your timeouts, force the offense to give the ball up into the wind. Still might have that opportunity, but you got to get a defensive stop.
Yeah, good start to that drive for Briar Cliff, getting a nice 9-yard run.
Second down and 1. Saya. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Sends a man in motion from the right. Fakes the handoff, swings it out. And the screen pass, and it's
ball taken away.
Taking it away. That was Cole Johnson ripping at it, and Cole Johnson comes away with it. And the Dordt defenders force a turnover. They have a 10-0 lead. They get the football back, and that was Cole Johnson forcing the turnover and then scooping it up and very nearly racing the other way for the score.
Yeah, he was able to pull that loose and field the ball right in the air to get a nice little return off of it.
Now they're going to mark it at the 36. I thought he was further up the field than that, but as it is, the defenders will take it. First down and 10 at the 36-yard line with 2:32 remaining in the first quarter. Dordt leading 10-0. Now you get greedy.
I was about to say the same thing, but I guess I'm kind of curious about how they spotted the ball. It was almost like they spotted it at the point of the fumble, but it looked pretty obvious he was in the air. Yeah. He was on his feet when he caused the fumble. And
Strickfaden stood up at the 30-yard line, pickup of 6 on the play on the option keeper, and Snyder couldn't shed his blocker. And he was able to wrestle Strickfaden down, but not before he picked up 6 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 4. Second down and 4. The defenders leading 10-0. Couple of scores for the defenders already. And Strickfaden has Piper behind him. Flora lining up in the slot. Beal to the far side. Snap back to Strickfaden. Strickfaden looking, has a man open over the middle for Looker, and Looker's pass the pass intended for Looker incomplete. It'll be third down and 4. So the defenders take a shot down the field over the middle. Looker didn't really have much, maybe had a half a step on the defensive back, but not much there. It'll be third down.
Yeah, actually pretty good coverage in the secondary by Briar Cliff. Need to create a little bit more separation, make that throw a little bit easier.
It has been a tough day passing so far for the two quarterbacks, 3 of 10 combined. Third down and 4. Dordt leading 10-0. 1:47 left to play first quarter. Dordt with the wind. Fake the handoff to Piper. Pass completed to Beal. Beal picks up a first down to the 25-yard line, so they move the sticks, and the defenders really have liked that play. Pass completed. Rhett Williams throws the block for him. And a long handoff in effect. It'll be first down and 10 for the defenders at the 25 with 90 seconds left to go in the quarter. So 90 seconds remaining. Rhett Williams will check out of the football game. So first down and 10 for the defenders. Defenders moving right to left or south to north if you are familiar with the configuration here at Open Space Park. Noah Strickfaden, 2 backs in the backfield with him. Fakes the keep and then pitches it over to Fritz, and Thomas Fritz inside the 20-yard line, marked out of bounds at the 13 as he was able to walk the tightrope along the near sideline for a first down.
Yeah, and a good finish to the play by Fritz, being the physical runner, put his shoulder down and made a defensive player pay for that tackle or knocking him out of bounds.
First down and 10 for the defenders at the 14. 50 seconds remaining in the quarter. Dordt leading 10-0. They've scored on 2 straight possessions, punted on their first possession. 7 seconds on the play clock. Strickfaden turns, hands, nope. Gave it to Piper. Piper, not much there, and defenders have had a hard time getting things going in between the tackles. And with 33 seconds left to go in the period, the defenders will use the first of their 3 timeouts. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in a minute.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery. Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today. Serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
Hey Defender Nation, did you know that Dordt Athletics has over 700 student athletes that make up less than 50% of the student body? We want to invite you to join the Defender Gold Club and support those student athletes, our staff, and coaches this season. Your charitable donation helps advance Defender Athletics and the Defender Way. Last year, we were just shy of 900 members in the Defender Gold Club. Help us reach that 1,000 member mark this year. By becoming a member, you will directly support the student athletes and coaches here at Dordt University. Thanks for watching. Go Defenders.
The defenders use a timeout to preserve the clock with the wind. It will be 2nd down and 10 after the run for no gain. Brendan Piper behind Noah Strickfaden. Dordt with a 10-0 lead. Isaac Looker to the near side. Flora and Beal to the far side. Fake the handoff, under pressure is Strickfaden. Strickfaden scrambling. He's going to run for the sideline and throws to the sideline now. Incomplete, intended for Beal. And it will be 3rd down. So 3rd down and 10 for the defenders at the 14. And the Briarcliff defense has really made the defenders work for everything they've gotten so far on offense with pretty good field position.
Yeah, and they've done a pretty good job of getting some pressure on Strickfaden and forcing him out of the pocket, making him throw on the move a little bit. And they've done really a pretty solid job against the run as well.
3rd down, 10 yards to go. Fritz is in the backfield. Piper's to the right shoulder of Strickfaden. Fake the pitch. Strickfaden keeps it himself, racing to the end zone. Touchdown Defenders! Noah Strickfaden with the 14-yard touchdown run. Pretty nice read on the inside to make that play.
Yeah, nice job by Strickfaden of also finishing the run in the end zone. Looked like there was some contact inside the 5, but he was able to drag the defensive player into the end zone for the touchdown. Really a big score here with the wind and being able to kick off one more time with the wind at their back.
20 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The Dordt defenders with a 16-0 lead pending the point after try by Stephen Leinen. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is through, and it clears the scoreboard, and the defenders have a 17-0 lead. 17-0 our score, defenders in front of Briarcliff. GPAC football, let's take a 30-second break. Just a 30-second break, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after this. To Piper, Piper up the middle. Piper still on his feet, touchdown Defender. Cade Rohr to the goal line, touchdown Defenders. $17 to nothing our score, the Dordt defenders. Noah Strickfaden, a 14-yard touchdown run, and the defenders have outgained Briarcliff thus far, 108 to 27. Now Briarcliff will get the football back, and my guess would be we'll run one play. before the quarter comes to an end, and then we'll flip the field and we'll see if the wind is advantageous for Briar Cliff or not. So Stephen Leinen kicking. When you're with the wind, you want to make it happen. Now you find out if the wind is really the difference or not, and Briar Cliff will have it first down and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They've got to run a play or two, though, before the first quarter comes to an end.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Mike. When you have that wind at your back, you really want your offense to take advantage of it. And not even so much what you're doing offensively, but because of the impact that it may have on the kick game. Being able to obviously kick these kickoffs through the end zone and force Briar Cliff to start at the 25 every time. That's big. Briar Cliff hasn't had the greatest of field positions to start so far.
First down and 10. Brock Saya barking signals. So first down and 10 at the 25-yard line. Brock Saya turns, hands it off, and the carry by Chase Thomas, and Thomas dragged down from behind as he works his way out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It's a first down for the Chargers, and they get some positive yardage, trailing 17-0. And this is where it can get dangerous. You feel like things are really going your way, and this you do not want to allow a team any confidence. Briar Cliff will now let the clock run out. That's the end of the first period. We'll talk more about that when we get back right after this. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute.
Welcome to Sioux Center, Iowa. Life in the center of everything. Where we connect with friends, coworkers, family, and the great outdoors. Knowing that in Sioux Center, you're never far from making the next great memory. And we grow great companies that make cutting-edge breakthroughs to make life better here and around the world. And when it's time to play, we keep friendship, family, and a bright future at the center of everything.
Dordt leading 17-0. Briar Cliff football. They hand it off, and this time corralled at the line of scrimmage will be Chase Thomas. No gain on the play. Joe Johnson on the tackle along with Ethan Mills. And that'll set up second down and long, and 17-0. That's very familiar. And you don't want.
Yeah,
still, there's a lot of football yet to be played.
Exactly. A lot of game to play yet, and we've seen that teams can come back by what we've done, down 17-0. So, and I'm sure Briar Cliff is thinking, hey, we got the win. Now it's our turn to make some hay.
Second down and 9. Saya sends a man in motion. And back to pass is Saya. Saya dumps it off over the middle and short of the first down. It's going to bring up third down on the pass completion to Stephen Whiting. They like Whiting, the tight end. He has 23 catches this year, right at 13 yards per catch, and that's a very valuable weapon for Briar Cliff.
Absolutely. Nice big target inside there. He does a good job of finding the hole in the zone, and he's like a post player in basketball. He just gets that big body inside there and posts up, and you get it close, and he seems to be able to catch the ball.
Third down and 2. Dordt showing pressure. Saya in the pistol, has running back Thomas behind him, and we've got movement and flags on the play. And with the play clock winding down, I think Briar Cliff is going to be called for a false start, and it's going to bring up third down now and 7. So 3rd and 2, 3rd and 7, that's a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. They may have been even thinking 2 downs there. Yeah, you want to play the field position game, but you're also down 17-0. So at some point you have to roll the dice a little bit. But now it's in a much tougher third down situation for the Briar Cliff team.
So it'll be a 5-yard penalty. It will be third down and 7. They're at their own 41-yard line, wind at their back, trailing 17-0. You're exactly right. They might think about trying to get this in two plays rather than trying to get it all at once. 3rd down and 7. They need the 48-yard line for a first down. Dordt leading 17-0. 13:24 left to play first half. Saya in the pistol, has Thomas to his left, tries to draw Dordt off, back to pass is Saya. Saya throws towards the sideline, floats it up in the air, and it's picked off. Taken away by the defenders. Playing center field that time was Thomas McCullough, the senior from Ravenna, Michigan. And the Dordt defenders, that is something they haven't done a lot of this year, is force turnovers. They've forced 2 so far today, and that one fluttered up in the air for a long time.
Yeah, and it's a little bit that wind factor. If you get it up in there, even when you're throwing it with the wind, it's really tough to judge for a quarterback the distance of each throw and knowing how much to put on it and how much to take off of each throw. That one just floated a little bit and allowed McCullough to get underneath it for the interception.
1st down and 10. Over on the soccer field, Dordt playing a rated Bellevue team in men's soccer. That one's 1-1 late in the second half. We have a timeout charged to the defenders, and I'm not sure if Coach Penner doesn't like the personnel package that he has on the field, and he comes out very quickly, calls for his second timeout of the contest. So this timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. We're going to keep it right here. We've played a fair number of our sponsors already, and I'm guessing we might get a chance to play some more. So we again thank Casey's Bakery for sponsoring our timeouts. And Kyle, I wanted to bring up something that Coach Joel Penner said during the pregame show, and that was talking about some of the people that have come before, talking about the joy that it brings different people. And he brought up 3 individuals. John Boss, who passed away late this summer after dealing with cancer, in effect. You had an athlete, Liam Edwards, pass away right after graduation, and Greg Zonnefeld, he said, "Do you know Greg?" And I said, He's my first broadcast partner.
Yeah, Greg's been around.
We came in.
And I grew up with Greg.
Yeah, we came in together. We graduated Dordt at the same time, and I would imagine he is listening and, bringing up those individuals who were very important parts of Dordt, the fabric of Dordt, and the football program as well, and just bringing those individuals up. It just goes without saying there are so many people along the way that you meet that have impacts, and that's part of what makes this place pretty special.
Yeah, and everybody has a role, right, in the development of a program, and whether that is kind of an exterior role in terms of just support or being on the field, everybody impacts the game, and everybody impacts the program.
Tom Fritz on the carry moments ago, setting up 2nd down and 6. Pass is complete to Snyder, and that will bring up 3rd down and 1 after a 5-yard pickup on the play. And, I wanted to say, Greg, dealing with tough stuff right now, and it's one of those, don't know what to say for an old friend, but glad that you're still making us a part of your Saturdays, Greg.
Yeah, I'm praying for you, brother.
Strickfaden fakes the handoff, fakes the pitch, now keeps it himself. He's got the first down and then some out to the 46-yard line. And the Dordt defenders with a 1st down and 10 at their own 46-yard line. So the defenders with a 17-0 lead already. And 11:45 left to play in the first half. The defenders leading 17-0, moving into the wind. And this is where you want to just churn it out. You want to grind it out, shorten the game here when you're going into the wind.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to see Dordt use every second of the play clock for most of this drive. And first downs are wins when you're going into the wind. Win a little field position, but run a lot of clock.
Strickfaden's going to take a shot over the top for Beal. Beal incomplete, and a little bit of jersey grab there by Ben Greer, but he looked up to make the play on the ball. If he doesn't turn around and find the ball, that's likely a pass interference. He does turn around, find the ball, helps knock it away, and instead it'll be 2nd down and 10 now at the 46-yard line of the Dordt defenders.
And that's one of those play calls that's just telling a defense, hey, heads up, doesn't matter if we're going into the wind or not, we're going to take some shots over the top. going to take some chances, going to allow our receivers to play the ball at times, just to keep a defense honest.
Corners are really playing press up front and getting hands on the receivers. Fake pitch again by Strickfaden. Strickfaden able to freeze the defense, picks up 12 yards on the play. And is that what that fake does? It just freezes the defense and allows that seam to open up?
It does, yeah. Briar Cliffs is doing a really good job at defending the pitch on the option, but yeah, I mean, Dordt's taking advantage of that, and Strickfaden's taking advantage by pulling the ball, giving that little pitch fake, turning the ball upfield and getting positive yards, and that's another important first down.
Briar Cliff on defense, 4 down linemen. Strickfaden sends a man in motion. Back to pass to Strickfaden. We've got pressure. He dumps it off underneath, intended for Flora, and Flora, Max Rascone, gives him a little nudge just to let him know he was there. It'll be 2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Pressure that time by Briar Cliff, one of the few times we've truly seen them get good pressure on the Dordt quarterback.
Yeah, and a good incomplete pass. You know, you don't hear that very often, but you don't want to complete that 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and get your receiver getting lit up or tackle for loss. Much better off living for 2nd and 10.
2nd down and 10. Piper in the backfield. They're going to run option, pitch it over to Piper. Piper cuts up field to the 40, to the 39, and a pickup of 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the defenders at the 39-yard line. 10-14 remaining here in the first half. Dordt leading 17-0. They've gone to the ground almost exclusively here on this drive. No surprise if you're just joining us. Temps 86 degrees at kickoff. Winds steady at 20-30, and I would imagine there are times where it's 40 miles an hour. And our replay tent, hopefully we've got that one nailed down today. That's over in the end zone, and that could turn into a sail before it's all done. Strickfaden fakes the handoff, throws on the run, pass is complete for a first down. So the defenders with a pass completion to Looker. Looker at the 25-yard line, and Strickfaden, pretty athletic play that time, making throw on the run and delivers it on the numbers to Snyder.
Yeah, not only throwing on the run, but moving to his left, and that's not always an easy throw for a quarterback. Those are the type of throws that end up sailing on players. So a great job by Noah bringing that ball down and completing the pass for a first down.
Strickfaden has now completed 5 passes for 45 yards. He's run 5 times for 55 yards. First down and 10 for the defenders at the Briar Cliff 25-yard line. Back to pass Strickfaden. Pass over the middle. Intercepted. Taken away. Ben Flora didn't see it, and it's taken away by the Chargers and Briar Cliff. Chase Montaigne, and we've got a flag on the play as well. That's in front of the Briar Cliff bench.
Yeah, maybe we'll back them up here unless they just give the Briar Cliff sideline a warning.
So a turnover, as it looked like Dordt was marching for points. And the turnover, Noah Strickfaden, a pass over the middle, and that's indeed a sideline infraction. And just a warning on the first one.
Yeah, I've been guilty of that a couple times during my time coaching. It's tough to control the emotions. Sometimes you get a little too close to the field, especially if an official bumps into you. You're gonna get a flag.
First down. Yep. First down and 10 for the Chargers at their own 15-yard line. So a miscue by the defender offense. First turnover of the day for the defenders, and now Briar Cliff still trailing 17-0. Let's see if the defenders the defense can stop Briar Cliff. Brock Saya sends a man in motion. That's Whiting. Saya fakes the handoff. He's going to roll right, looking underneath. Pass is batted away and falls incomplete. So the defenders again putting pressure on Saya, knocking it out of the ground. That's the third, out of the air, I should say. That's the third time this afternoon we have seen the defenders knock it away. And it'll set up 2nd down and 10. Does that get in a quarterback's head at some point, or do you just keep gunning?
Well, you do. You often see a quarterback maybe adjust their arm angle a little bit, thinking, all right, how do I get it over or around this defensive lineman who they always seem to have their hands in the air. So it could affect Saya a little bit throughout this game.
Saya now 3 for 7 passing. Back to pass, looking right. He's got some room to run, and we've got a hold. This one's going to come back, and you just want him to go down. Nobody get hurt because this one's coming back. The chain gang ready to move, and now they see the flags on the play as well. And there was no doubt about that one, as we had a pretty good angle on it, and it happened out in the wide open, and those are the ones that get caught.
Yeah, and, I think we've mentioned it before and seen it other times throughout even this season. Once that quarterback tucks the ball and tries to get upfield, quite often the offensive linemen, they don't see that or feel that, and then that's when a defensive player is trying to disengage, and that's when the jersey gets pulled away from the body, and it's pretty obvious hold.
It'll be 2nd down and 17. So 2nd and 17 on the holding penalty. So Briar Cliff back in near their own end zone. Back at the 7, they're at the 8. They need the 25 for a first down. Inside handoff, and Caleb Weinberg there to stand up Iman Pittman. Pittman averaging 2.9 yards per carry, and I don't think he got that many that time. Maybe picks up 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long. 3rd down and long with 8:20 remaining here in the first half. Dordt leading 17-0.
Yeah, now you're telling your defensive secondary, hey, just defend the sticks, right? Don't give up the pass downfield for a first down. Force the underneath throw and rally to make a tackle short.
Going to find that tight end Whiting. See if he doesn't get free for something. Back to pass is Saya. Saya at his own goal line. He's looking. Now he's thinking about scrambling for it, and the pass is incomplete. It was in and out of the hands of the would-be receiver, and coming up to make the tackle for the Dordt defenders, Thomas Walder. Walder jars it free, and it'll be 4th down, and pretty good job that time of Saya of scrambling with time and finding someone open.
Yeah, and he was a little bit tempted to tuck it and run, but he knew the down and distance. He knew he had to go a long ways to pick up a first down, so he took a shot downfield. Had a receiver kind of sitting in the zone hole there, they were not able to connect.
Jacob Myers will be punting. Line of scrimmage is the 10, and it's
blocked. I think
might be blocked. And it's either blocked or it went off the side of his foot, because he does not get much of the benefit of the wind on that punt as it rolls out of bounds at the 38-yard line, and the defenders will start 1st down and 10 at the Briar Cliff 38-yard line. So when it's all said and done, you end up trading possessions, and the defenders get it back. Not quite as deep in Briar Cliff territory as they turned it over, but don't give up any points with Briar Cliff working with the wind at their back as we approach the midpoint of the second quarter. Dordt still leading 17-0. Rhett Williams comes set on the right side. Strickfaden runs option, and Briar Cliff able to find that one. Strickfaden didn't have much room to work, and Briar Cliff, 3 Chargers there to make the tackle, and Strickfaden had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell if there was a missed block inside there, but a better job by Briar Cliff of defending the quarterback run. Still had a guy out to the pitch, so Strickfaden couldn't get it out to the running back on the pitch option, but put yourself in a second and extra long situation here.
2nd and 13. Dordt needs the 28-yard line for a first down. Strickfaden has Velverty. They throw it over to Beal. Beal makes the catch at the 19 to the 15 and dragged down at the 13-yard line, and a first down for the defenders, as that one goes for plus 20 to Elliott Beal. Beal averaging 19.1 yards per carry coming into the game, and with under 7 minutes to go in the half, the Dordt defenders now threatening. So the Dordt defenders.
Now, are we in field goal range here, Mike? Going into the might be on the edge.
I would not feel comfortable doing that. That's a last resort in my mind. Valverde spins, gets it inside the 10, and he is dragged down at the 8-yard line. So that'll be a first down carry of 5 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 5. And just heard Mark Christians, the public address announcer, note that the men's soccer team leading a rated Bellevue team 4-1. So an explosion. They're playing fast break soccer over on the field, and you don't have the wind either way there. That's a cross breeze on the pitch. So 4-1, the defenders with the lead. Dordt football leading 17-0. Valverde in the backfield. They hand it off to Valverde. Valverde spins away from a tackler, tries to stretch the play out inside the 5, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds at the 2-yard line, and Keenan Valverde refuses to go down easily and picks up a first down for the defenders.
Yeah, great job of just his leg drive and keeping those feet moving. Those are the kind that sometimes you see a back get lifted off the ground and driven back, but he kept his feet down and was able to extend that play and get the first down.
He was one of the few true freshmen last year that saw significant playing time, and part of that was due to injury. Part of that's due to his talent, especially as a punt returner. He also spent a lot of time, obviously, in the weight room and has put some muscle on that 5'6" frame. They hand it off to Valverde. Valverde backing his way in and close to the end zone. Touchdown defenders. Keenan Valverde finds the end zone as he rides up the middle right behind back. And the Dordt defenders have a 23-0 lead with 5:04 remaining here in the first half. So Keenan Valverde with the touchdown carry, and credit the offensive line with that. Valverde, his 6th carry, his 2nd touchdown. He's got 21 yards this afternoon, and Stephen Line. And now we're going to find out how strong the wind is.
Exactly. Kicking into this, if I'm the camera person on the lift, I'm not sure I'm super excited about positioning here.
Well,
if we get it that far.
We'll see if he gets it that high would be my question.
Right.
If he gets it that high, it might come blowing back. Snap is down. Kick is up. And he drives it, and it makes it through. Wasn't sure if it made it through, but it squeaks through, and the Dordt defenders with a 24-0 lead with 5:04 left to play in the first half. Dordt up 24-0. We'll be back with more right after this. This is Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network.
Broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973. Today's broadcast brought to you by 712 Realty, a team of realtors in Northwest Iowa with the drive, care, and results you need to buy or sell your home. Visit them online, 712realty.com, leading you home. This broadcast brought to you by the Ullman Funeral Homes. Chad Ullman, Lori Ewell, and Taylor Van Witchell providing professional attention to every detail.
Hi, this is Alex with Outdoor Elements. We've been the region's premier landscape company for over 15 years. With our own in-house landscape designer, we create extraordinary outdoor spaces where you will make memories with family and friends. We do all types of landscaping, and we're the region's only certified pool professionals. We specialize in saltwater pools, which are easy to maintain and gentle on your skin. Check out our website at OutdoorElementsInc.com. We make your landscape as beautiful as your home. When you want the best, contact us at 712-476-5299 or email us at info@OutdoorElementsInc.com.
Dordt leads 24-0. 5:04 left to play here in the first half. Connor Stephens, who normally holds, he's the backup kicker and punter as well, and he'll kick off, and this one hangs up in the wind. It'll be taken at the 20 to the 25-yard line. Florme is running laterally, end up running east and west here on the Open Space Park football field, and he is brought down about where he caught it. Just a little closer to the sideline. It'll be first down and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, if you're kicking into this wind and you force an offense to start at the 25-yard line, that's a win.
You did your job.
That's a win. I think we got to make sure our defensive back stays over the top here. You would think that at some point, either in this drive or in the near future, this Briar Cliff team is going to try to stretch the defense vertically.
24-0, Dordt leading. I'm keeping my eye on number 13, Florme. Florme was the return man on that kick. He's a threat, averaging 14.3 yards per punt. And Briar Cliff still trying to establish the run. And a 14-yard pickup on the play for Chase Thomas. And that's enough for a Briar Cliff first down. And is that just simply keeping the defense honest?
Yeah, it is. And you don't want to totally abandon the run. And actually, Thomas, of the Briar Cliff running backs, Thomas is running pretty efficiently. I think he's had most of the 9.
He's
10-yard
averaging
gains.
about 8-9 yards a game.
Yeah.
8-9 yards a carry on 6 carries now. So first down and 10 at the 39-yard line. 4:20 and counting first half. Briarcliff trying to get something on the board here before the half comes to an end. This time Dordt defense, run defense, makes the play. Chase Thomas, play stretched out to the sideline, picks up 3 on the play. It'll be second down and 7. For the defenders right now, you just want to get to the half and keep that goose egg on the board. You don't need to tack on more offensively. Right now, they just stop Briarcliff. Don't let them get any momentum going into halftime.
Exactly, and you got to be solid against the run, but you have to make sure that this Briarcliff offense earns every yard that they get.
Second down and 7 on the way. Second and 7, Saya. Turns, hands, gives to Thomas. Thomas, the ball carrier, and he is met in the hole. And David Bowman, there's a reason they're excited about him. Now, they didn't necessarily want to have to be playing him in Game 4 already, but the San Antonio, Texas native comes up and meets the runner in the hole. No gain on the play. It's third down and 7.
Yeah, nice physical play. Finished that tackle well. As we had just mentioned, Thomas, he's been pretty elusive and does a nice job of cutting in the hole and getting positive yards and finishing runs. So it was nice defensive play there.
Third down and 7 for the Chargers. 2:50 and counting first half. Closing in on that 2-minute timeout. Back to pass is Saya. We had some movement. They pass it to Thomas. Thomas out of the backfield and just picks up the first down before Ethan Mills knocks him out of bounds. And the Briarcliff Chargers in Dordt territory at the 49-yard line. The Dordt defense unable to get off of the field in that sequence. And now Briarcliff will have to snap it one more time before we get to that 2-minute timeout. So Dordt's forced a couple of turnovers already today. Briarcliff now with it in defender territory. Dordt has outgained Briarcliff so far. 263 to 84 through one half of football. Saya picks it up off of the ground, screws up the timing on it, but Chase Thomas is still able to pick up 3 yards on the play. I believe Joe Johnson in on the tackle along with David Bowman. It's going to be second down and 7, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in a minute.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
Dordt's program is a little bit unique in that it's entirely online, but one of the unique pieces is that for every learning module in every single class, we have a synchronous class. Students get a chance to know each other, to interact with each other, to learn from each other. That opportunity is really valued by the students that are in the program. I enjoy that. I enjoy teaching those classes and getting to know those students, but also being able to bring in different people's experiences.
Second down and 7 for the defenders, for the Chargers at the defender 46-yard line. 2 minutes remaining. Briarcliff has all 3 of their timeouts left, so they've got plenty of time to work with. Saya, back to pass. Saya dumps it off underneath and making the open field tackle for the defenders. That is Colson Queering, short of the first down by about a yard. It'll be third down and short near the 40-yard line. The Dordt fans wanted a holding penalty as it looked like one of the pass rushers dragged to the ground as Saya completed the pass. But no flag comes out, and it will be third down and short. Third and short. Chase Thomas in the backfield along with Saya. Back to pass is Saya. Saya looks over the middle, finds Flurmy, and Flurmy is met on with the he makes the catch, but right there to make the play is Isaac Kakmarinsky. Enough for a first down, and Briar Cliff's got it first down and 10 at the 35-yard line. First down and 10 at the 35. Back to pass is Saya. Saya throws it away. It'll be second down and 10. One of the few times we've seen Saya really bail out on a play so far today.
Yeah, and we had decent pressure. I think it was Queering coming off the right side there. And I think Saya got a little bit quick with his trigger there, but just a throwaway to, preserve some clock and get into a 2nd and 10 situation.
70 seconds remaining. It's 1:10 remaining. 2nd down and 10. Chase Thomas in the backfield along with Saya, and we've got a timeout on the field. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Briar Cliff uses one of their 3 timeouts. We'll be back with more from Open Space Park in 1 minute. To Piper. Piper up the middle. Piper still on his feet. Touchdown defender. Cade Roller to the goal line. Touchdown defenders.
NewTek is your partner for success when purchasing equipment for construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and other industries. Don't miss the opportunity to transform your business and redefine your productivity standards with NewTek. Today's broadcast brought to you by Snyder Insurance and Financial Group of Sioux Center, offering life, health, Medicare supplements, annuities, and more. Trusted service and exceptional products with you in mind since 1973.
Second down and 10. Back to pass is Saya. Saya underneath. Pass completed. And short of the first down, forced out of bounds at the 30-yard line. The pass completion to number 15, Jaden. That is Jaden Westbrook. So Westbrook on the pass completion. It'll set up 3rd down and long. 3rd and 6.
I see Coach Penner asking for the clock to run, and really should. The contact was made inbounds, and then he was thrown backwards out of bounds. That clock should be running because he wasn't going forward when he went out of bounds.
Big deal with only 66 seconds remaining. 63 now. Saya sends a man in motion, right to left. Dordt trying to pressure. Pass to the sideline, complete to Florme. Florme taken down at the 21-yard line, and that's enough for a Briar Cliff first down. And with under a minute to go, Briar Cliff threatening, down 24-0, trying to get something positive to go into halftime with.
Yeah, and putting together a nice little drive here.
So Briar Cliff, Brock Saya. And we have a timeout on the field. The defenders will exhaust their final timeout with 49 seconds remaining. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more from Open Space Park right after this.
Broadcast brought to you by Joyner and Dordt Dentistry, providing implants, dentures, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
Dordt is a place where students flourish.
What stands out about Dordt's mission is how they prepare us as students to face a world that is in need of the Word of God.
We are seeking to embody discipleship. What does it mean to faithfully follow Jesus?
First down and 10 for the Chargers at the 23-yard line. Back to pass is Saya. Saya throws complete to Thomas. Thomas turned back to the middle of the field. He's to the 14-yard line. And that is close to a first down.
I think he's just short.
So they'll call him short. And we have another timeout on the field. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. And now I've got to go back, and I think I misspoke when we were talking about those three individuals that Joel Penner brought up in our pregame interview. I said Liam Edwards. Liam Edwards is still on the football team. Liam Sorensen passed away.
Yep.
Shortly after graduation this past school year, so my apologies on that. And sometimes when I work without a script, I have too many names going through, but my apologies for that. But Liam Sorensen, the former football player who passed away late in this past summer, so want to make sure that I go back and make that correction. As hard as it is to believe, Kyle, every once in a while I misspeak. So
yeah, it happens to everybody, man.
It does. But 2nd down and 2, just want to make sure that we get that correction made. So we move forward now after the timeout. 2nd down and 2. 2nd and 2 for the Briarcliff Chargers. Brock Saya has Whiting in motion. And we've got a flag on the play. Play is whistled dead as well, so that normally means it's against the offense. So 2nd down and 7. Football at the 21-yard line now, or so, 20-yard line we'll call it. So that changes things as well, and the defenders trying to keep Briarcliff out of the end zone here at the end of the first half. It will be 2nd down and 7. Briarcliff needs the 13-yard line for a first down. So Saya back to pass, passes it to Chase Thomas out of the backfield. Pass completed, and Thomas loses his lid on in the process. And he picks up very little on the play.
Right, and that stopped the clock, the helmet, but this should be wound in here soon.
As soon as they get it set, 32 seconds remaining. Briarcliff does have one timeout remaining, and it looks like Briarcliff's going to use it here with 32 seconds remaining, facing 3rd down. So I guess in all likelihood, you're going to see a pass here because they need the clock. They either need a first down or they need the clock to stop.
Right, yeah, and if you end up short and you have to try to run your field goal team on, you should have enough time for that, but it's going to be close.
All depends how much you practice it. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. The Dordt defenders with a 24-0 lead as we creep up towards halftime. 2:14. We've been playing a little over an hour here, and I was checking that soccer score, Kyle, and I jokingly referenced fast break soccer, but I wasn't exaggerating too much. Anton Force unlocked a 1-1 tie at the 63-20 mark. 3 minutes later, he scored again, and then 2 minutes after that, Tyson Reitzma found the goal as well to make it 4-1 at the time. It's now 4-2. And I'm not sure if they've gone final yet with that. They have. So the defenders pick up a much-needed win. They win a pair this week, getting a shutout of Waldorf on Wednesday and a 4-2 win over Bellevue on Saturday. 32 seconds remaining. First half of play, Dordt leading 17-0. Back to pass. Saya steps up in the pocket.
Ball's out.
Ball comes loose, and he falls on top of it. Zach Queering reaches up, drags him down, and now do you have enough time?
Right.
20 seconds, 18. Ball is set. It appears Briarcliff will get a chance at the field goal. Jacob Myers will line this one up at the 43. It'll be a 43-yard try. This will be blocked, and it's taken away by the defenders. With a football on the far side, and
that's
David Bowman comes away with the football on the continuation, and the Dordt defense and the special teams comes up with a stop. Credit Queering with that sack, and then credit the Dordt special teams coming away with a block. And that'll end the first half with Dordt leading 24-0. 24-0 our score at halftime. We're going to take a quick 1-minute break, just a 1-minute break on the Dordt Media Network and KIHK, and we'll be back in time to see the dance team performing right after this 1-minute timeout.
Broadcast brought to you by Joyner and Dordt Dentistry, providing implants, dentures, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
Dordt is a place where students flourish.
What stands out about Dordt's mission is how they prepare us as students to face a world that is in need of the Word of God.
We are seeking to embody discipleship. What does it mean to faithfully follow Jesus?
And while the cheer team is performing on the field, they've had their camp as well, so we'll make sure we give enough time for much of that to be broadcast. The Dordt defenders, let's tell you how the defenders have arrived at this 24-0 lead. The defenders punted on their first possession, and then it was a Stephen Leinen field goal from 44 yards, making it 3-0 midway through the first period. That capped a 10-play, 32-yard drive. Keenan Velverty then scored on a 4-yard rush, capping a 5-play, 31-yard drive to make it 10-0 after the point after. Noah Strickfadden, a 14-yard run to end a 7-play, 36-yard drive. And the defenders capitalized on their fourth sub-40-yard drive, a 5-play, 38-yard drive. Velverty, 2-yard touchdown run. Dordt leads 24-0 at halftime. They needed a blocked field goal to preserve the shutout at halftime. And the Dordt defenders lead at 24-0 currently. Taking a look at the individual numbers, Brock Saya, 9 of 16 passing for the Chargers, 66 yards and an interception. Thomas, 9 carries, 49 yards, 5.4 yards per carry, a long of 14. He's also caught 2 passes for 18 yards, and Whiting, 2 catches for 15 yards as well. Florme, 2 catches for 13 yards. Noah Strickfadden, 6 of 16 passing, an interception, and a total of 73 yards on a breezy day. He's got 6 carries for 58 yards. Thomas Fritz, 5 catches for 28 yards. Keenan Velverty, 6 catches for 21 yards. Brendan Piper, 5 rushes for 17 yards. Velverty, those were 6 rushes for 21 yards. Elliott Beal has 3 receptions for 42 yards, and Isaac Looker, 2 catches for 26. On defense, the Dordt defense, a couple of sacks, one by Zach Quiring, the other by Isaac Kakmarinsky. The defenders have also broken up 5 passes, 4 of them by defensive linemen, Johnson, Quiring, Walder, Stewart, and Weinberg, all with pass breakups, and Thomas McCullough with the only interception of the day for the defenders. Leading tackler through one half of football, Isaac Kakmarinsky, 8 tackles, 2 of them for loss. And the defenders enjoying a 24-0 lead. The defenders right now, if my math is correct, a total of 190 yards to Briar Cliff's 106. I think I mentioned Dordt had over 200 at one point. I was adding the wrong 2 numbers at that point. So Kyle Achterhoff, first half of football, Briar Cliff team that we just didn't know a lot. Coming in, no comparable scores. I mean, you just didn't know. I guess the first half grade for the defenders thus far this afternoon.
Yeah, I've done a really good job of getting some pressure on Saya, the quarterback, and probably could be a little bit better, more efficient against the run. Thomas is having a pretty good day running the ball, but overall, you pitch a shutout in the first half. You cause a turnover. You're doing some good things. Obviously, getting that field goal block at the end to keep the goose egg on the scoreboard was pretty big. Overall, pretty solid first half of ball for the Dordt defenders.
Taking a look around the conference, and I want your impressions on a couple of these things.
All right.
Here we go. Concordia leading Mount Marty and Yankton 17-7.
Probably about how you'd expect it to go, but on the road, playing at Yankton might give Mount Marty a little bit of an edge there, but
17-7.
Solid game.
17-7 at halftime. Morningside at home leading Waldorf 41-0. Hastings and Northwestern 3-3 as they head towards halftime. Hastings is better. That's everything I'm hearing is they're better.
Yeah, and they've run the ball pretty well throughout the year. I think they had quite a few rushing yards against Morningside just a week ago. They're an improved football team. I guess I'm not shocked that Northwestern is holding Hastings to 3, but probably a little bit more shocked that Hastings is holding Northwestern to 3 at this point.
And finally, a couple of teams that I have seen. You saw one of them, Dakota Wesleyan and Doane. This one surprises me. Dakota Wesleyan 27, Doane 0. And if I saw them back-to-back weeks, I would have flipped that in all honesty.
Yeah, especially with the challenges that Dakota Wesleyan has had offensively. They haven't scored many, haven't had a lot of success offensively. So to be able to put those kind of numbers up in the first half, of course, again,
how did they get them? Yeah.
Yeah, and where do you get them, and who's on a roll, who's not, and how much has the wind affected that game? Has there been turnovers, short fields, all that kind of thing can play into a ball game in a hurry?
Yeah, and who's hurt, who's playing, who isn't,
right.
and it's at Crete, so that adds to the intrigue for me.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
27-0, Dakota Wesleyan leading Doane at the moment. So. The Dordt defenders. Coming up later today, we will have volleyball on KIHK as the Dordt volleyball team facing the College of St. Mary Flames. They'll start with junior varsity play at about 3:30 and varsity play at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And the women's soccer team will be playing the College of St. Mary in a conference contest as well over on the pitch, and that one's scheduled to begin here shortly. And the men's soccer game has gone final with Bellevue as well. That one 4-2 the final. The Defender soccer team gets a win, their second of the week. And earlier today, the cross-country teams were in action, and the Defender cross-country teams have not run everyone yet. And they didn't run everyone today either. The men finished third to USD, that's South Dakota and Creighton, with 106 points. Concordia finished fourth with 113. Stephen Hebert led the defenders with a 16th place finish, and Hudson Hamilton, a freshman, 18th place at 26-13. And on the women's side of things, the women also finished third, running with those teams from USD and Creighton. Dordt scored 69 points. USD won it, 25. Creighton second, 42. And the Defenders as well. They have not run everybody, and they haven't been healthy yet. Next week when the Defenders host the Holiday Inn Express Classic, that one will be hopefully the full teams for both running. Joy Kuhl and Jessica Opfer went 10-11. Addie Liston and Corinne Braun ran 14 and 16. Molly Mulder finished 18th for the Defenders earlier today. I think that brings you up to speed on all the Defender athletic news so far. Let's take a 1-minute break, and when we are back, we'll be checking in with our senior spotlight, Jamin Stewart, right after this 1-minute timeout.
Broadcast is brought to you by RA Rentals. Looking for top-notch rental equipment for the next project? Look no further than RA Rentals, located in Sioux Center, Spencer, Storm Lake, and Sioux Falls. RA Rentals, your regional equipment rental experts. Today's broadcast brought to you by Eric Rankin, a proud sponsor of Dordt University Defender Athletics. For all your investment needs, call 712-722-0618 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, SPIC. Members Cut, more than meat, where strong values, great food, and hometown spirit comes together. Stop in and taste the difference community makes. Located just south of Scooters on Highway 75.
This is a Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast.
For our football spotlight today, we will check in with football senior Jamin Stewart. Jamin is a senior from Webster City, Iowa. Let's see, the nickname for Webster City, the Lynx?
The Lynx, yep. It's the Lynx.
Webster City, not typically a hotbed for Dordt football recruiting or recruiting in general. How'd you end up at Dordt from Webster City, Jamin?
Yeah, for sure. So similar to that, I actually never had heard of Dordt before Coach McCormick and Coach Nutt at the time reached out to me. They really wanted me to come up for a visit and a camp. So I ultimately just decided to come up here. Went through the camps, went through the visit process. I think I visited 3 or 4 times before I decided to commit here. I just loved how open and transparent Coach McCormick was with me throughout the whole process. He just really let me know how much he wanted me and how much he wanted me here and how much he wanted me to grow as a man, not just a football player. So that really meant a lot to me, and that's why I decided to commit here.
Why 3 or 4 times? What was the holdup? Why did it take so many visits for you to finally make that decision, Jamin?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure, if I'm being honest. I know the first time was for a camp, then a game day visit, and then my unofficial and official visit. And the final time I visited, my plan was to kind of tell them I wasn't going to come here. But I just felt the Holy Spirit working in me during my visit, and it was kind of just randomly on that 4th tour that I took that I decided I wanted to be a defender. So,
what do you remember about that last day? I mean, that last visit, if you will. Do you remember much about that visit?
I do, actually, yes. So it was my dad's first time here, so I just wanted him to see it before I kind of said no type of thing. But just the more time I spent here on campus and in Sioux Center in general, I just realized I didn't want to not have this, if that makes sense. Like, I just could see how special this place is and how much of an impact this place has on the students' lives, and I just really wanted to be a part of it.
We're talking with Jamin Stewart. He is a senior from Webster City. You said before the interview you're sports management.
I am.
But it's been kind of a winding road to get there. Where did you start out as?
Yep, I came in as pre-physical therapy, and I did that for a year, and I discovered I'm not cut out for the sciences. So I already had all my HHP requirements done, and my advisor, Tim Klein, recommended that I just switch to sports management while I could still hit that business side of things as well.
So was it there are different students that I talk to, and some it's a straight line. They came in as junior in high school. They had their heart set on something, and they carry it through their senior year, and it feels like everything is mapped out. For you had to work through some of that and figure out, okay, what I planned on isn't for me. Was that a challenge for a college freshman to go through that?
It was, yes, because I had high aspirations of graduating early, getting through pre-physical therapy school, and I realized that I still had a passion for sports, and I still had a passion for helping people, but that focus kind of shifted on the health side of things to more business related.
Okay. Talk about football a little bit. When did you finally start playing regular downs for the football team?
Yeah, early last year, and then that kind of dwindled off a little bit towards the end of the season, and then again this year.
Sure. How hard is it to wait your turn?
Yeah, it is incredibly hard. I will not lie, but that's why I'm super grateful for the culture that we have here, because I realize my identity is not in playing football. That is the furthest thing from it, and I actually had a wake-up call with that when I got injured my freshman year. I broke my hand, so that was kind of the big wake-up call for me. But it is hard not playing coming in early, because as a senior in high school, getting recruited, that's all you think of just kind of being the big time at a college and for a football team. But like I said, found out that is not what God had for me, and I was able to find my role on the team, which is in different things.
I went back in another lifetime, probably before you were born. I broadcast a football game from Webster City. It was Webster City against Central Lyon, George Little Rock.
Yep.
And football coach, was it Dick Tye?
Dick Tye, yep.
I mean, Webster City has a pretty storied football tradition. Was football always your thing? First of all, did you grow up in Webster City?
Yes, I grew up going to school in Webster City, but just lived a few minutes out of town.
So was football always the sport you wanted to be a part of?
I actually always wanted to do basketball.
Okay.
So it was kind of basketball and football, but I had a conversation with my dad, and it was like, I'm more cut out for football than I am basketball, so that's when I started to shift. But it's always been some sort of sports for me.
What is it about football? I mean, and I have that conversation with different people. My wife and I talk about it. We had a son who played high school football. I never played it, and there's just something that the player will sacrifice almost everything to be a part of that team and play on Friday nights for high school and Saturday for college. What is it about the sport that allows young men to invest, it seems, fully in it? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I guess just in my experience, there's just something about coming together with a group of guys and just really pursuing an ultimate goal of winning championships, which is a part of the Defender Way here. So I just think it's something that you are able to come together with your friends. For high school specifically, it was like the friend group. I think that was really the main driver of why football is so important to me in high school, because you're able to do such special things in an organized fashion through football.
Okay. What you've seen the program, and we've been consistently very competitive. A playoff appearance a couple of years ago, a near miss last year. 3-0 start this year. What's it feel like to be a part of something that it seems like it's got a little bit of perpetual motion going now, if that makes sense? What's it feel like to be a part of that?
Yeah, I would say that I have confidently seen this coming for a while. Our coaches talk a lot about a race car analogy, so meaning the coaches engineer and craft this race car, and us as players are in charge of taking the race car to where we want to go and actually racing it. So this race car, it's not just the past couple of years that has built this race car. It's the coaches ever since Coach Penner got here 10 years ago, is it?
Yep.
That this race car has started to be built, and we're finally reaping the benefits of it. We still have a long ways to go this season. I'm not saying we have mastered our race car by any means this year, but it's just really cool to see throughout each year how this race car has been more and more developed.
We hope the football season goes into December, and then you're going to graduate in May. What's the future look like for you?
Yeah, it is still kind of unclear for me what the Lord has for me. I'm hoping it's something in business management. I'm not sure if that'll be in the area, Sioux Falls, even more north. Whatever that looks like for me is still undecided, but I've just been living through it prayerfully and faithfully, and the Lord's going to figure out the rest.
You were coming out of Webster City. You're taking the 120 miles or so. You're coming west to Sioux Center, Iowa. Thinking back on that and now where you're at, how have you changed? How have you grown?
Yeah, I think I already touched on it. The main point of just like where my identity is. I always saw myself as a football player. I never saw myself really as a man of God, and that takes some humility for me to say. But yeah, this place has just had such an impact on how I view myself and how I go about my everyday life. It's no longer about what good can I do for myself. It's about what good can I bring to the kingdom of God, if that makes sense. So I've just really seen my faith get leaps and bounds, just exponentially better from where it ever has been. And then the second point of just finding my role in general. I guess my brain's wired to think football, so finding my role isn't to be the star player like I once thought it might have been. It's more to help develop the young guys, help continue the culture that the many people before my grade have laid that culture. So I've just found my role in trying to develop that culture and continue it and make it stronger and stronger. And I hope to take that with me into my future as well, whatever business that is for me, my family, just continually to get better and better and not to necessarily have to be the star of the show.
That is Jamin Stewart, and Jamin, really appreciate him taking some time earlier this week. And I think it's always interesting, Kyle, when you visit with those guys and they talk about how big a deal football is when they come in, and by the time they're all said and done, they figure out that, okay, that is something that's temporary, and there's a lot more to it than just playing football when you go to a college or university.
Well, yeah, especially places like Dordt, GPAC level, NAI football. Jamin is prepared to go pro in something other than football. And he's very well prepared for that. And just a great example. I've gotten to know Jamin, and he's just an awesome individual.
Stephen Leinen will be kicking off as we resume play here. Dordt leading 24-0. A half of football yet to play in Briar Cliff. That shutout, that 0 still up on the scoreboard, and that one almost splits the uprights by Stephen Leinen. And the Chargers will take over first down and 10 at their own 25. And I'm sure if you're Briar Cliff, you're thinking we just need one. You just need to get one and then get a stop.
Right.
I mean, you can't approach it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. They want to get something established offensively. A few things that I thought they did really well, and I mentioned Thomas running the ball. He's been pretty efficient in the run game. And then they're underneath their short pass game. They kind of got going there towards the end, and so I'd like to see the Dordt defense maybe jump those routes a little bit more here. Obviously, you don't want to give something big up.
Brock Saya hands it off. This is Chase Thomas, and Thomas hits the hole hard, picks up 3 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 7. 2nd and 7. The Dordt defenders defensively looks like pretty much how we started the contest up front. Jamin Stewart is near side defensive end. You've got Nolan Buchholz. I think Caleb Weinberg has gotten a little more time today than normal as well. Creeping up over there on the right side is Zach Queering. The Dordt defensive lines have done a pretty good job of pressuring Brock Saya. Send a man in motion. That's Whiting. They hand it off, and Thomas this time the play stood up, and that's going to be loss of 3 or 4 on the play, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and long. So 3rd down and a passing down for the Chargers as they move into the wind, and that's a tough way to, it's a tough challenge, but then to start off into the wind, it's going to be a challenging third period for Briar Cliff. They've got to keep it right here. They can't let it grow from here.
Exactly. Yeah, really an important 3rd down situation. I'm sure they weren't envisioning being 3rd and 10 here in the first series, but if Dordt can make a stop here, should end up with pretty good field position.
3rd down and 10. Back to pass Saya. Saya pass flutters incomplete. It'll be 4th down and 10. The defenders will get the football back in good field position. Line of scrimmage is the 25. They'll be punting into the wind. And Keenan Valverde will station himself in between the 35 and 40-yard line. And Dordt sends Valverde back there. Valverde averaging right at 15 yards per punt return, and he was back at about the 35. He comes creeping up and looks to the sideline, and I think it was Nathan Kabongo that said, keep coming, and brings him up to about midfield. 4th down and 10. Jacob Myers punting. This one, the low line drive, and takes a bounce at the 45-yard line and down at the 49.
We're going to have a roughing or running into the kicker here.
Oh.
It looked a little like a flop.
Yeah, they're not going to kick it again.
No.
And that's the more inadvertent, if you will, of the 2 penalties. If it's roughing the kicker, they view him as defenseless and something more than just a glancing blow. They're going to get an automatic first down out of it. So the defenders dodge a bit of a bullet. Saw that last week, a couple of weeks ago against Doane, had a roughing the punter call. First down and 10 for the defenders. Noah Strickfaden turns, hands it off Piper. Piper picks up 3 yards on the play, second effort. He's down near the 45-yard line. Saw some movement there. Thought maybe Briar Cliff thought the football was out. Johnny Bowser on the tackle. It's going to be second down and 7. Football out at the 46-yard line. Dordt has had the football in Briar Cliff territory a bunch this afternoon, and all 4 of their scoring drives, 40 yards or less.
Yeah, and if you're this Briar Cliff defense at this point, if you have a running back stood up, you're probably raking at the ball pretty hard.
Second down and 7. Back to passes. Strickfaden out of the backfield is Fritz. Fritz, the ball carrier to the 40, to the 35, and he is pushed out of bounds at the 34-yard line. And was that Rhett Williams over on the near side that threw a block that helped to spring Fritz? And a first down for the defenders to the 35-yard line. Dordt scores here. It gets awfully challenging.
Absolutely, yeah, especially with Briar Cliff going into the wind here this quarter. But, yeah, an opportunity for the Dordt offense to extend this lead, starting out with really good field position.
First down and 10. Noah Strickfaden. And he's got Piper behind him. Hands it off to Brendan Piper. Runs through one arm tackle. Picks up 3 yards on the play. It's going to be second down and 7, so a carbon copy to the first play on the previous set of downs. It'll be second down and 7 for the defenders, and they send Thomas Fritz Jr. onto the field.
Yeah, I would imagine you're going to see this Briar Cliff defense rolling the dice a little bit more with some slants and some blitzes just to try to create something from that side of the ball.
Second down and 7. Strickfaden back to pass, looks right to Fritz. Fritz is going to be met right as he makes the catch. And coming up to make the tackle is Kyle Gibson. Loss on the play of 5 yards. It's going to be third down and 12. So third and 12, Dordt with the wind at their back. You'd be on the outer edge of Stephen Linen's range here. This would be a 55-yard. I wouldn't mind seeing him try it today with the wind, though.
Absolutely. Great day to try it anyhow, getting a little help from the wind.
24-0, Dordt leading, facing third down and 12. They need the 25-yard line for a first down. They're with the wind. Back to pass is Strickfaden. Strickfaden flush from the pocket, scrambling. He's going to try to tuck it and run, breaks one tackle, and he is brought down by Max Rascone. And it's going to be fourth down. And a loss of 1 actually on the play, and we're going to see Stephen Linen try it. The line of scrimmage is the 38. That means it'll be a 56-yarder. So a 56-yard field goal attempt for the defender, Stephen Linen. We know he has the legs. Sometimes comes into play. You've got to drive it, and it's going to be a lower kick. So a 56-yard field goal attempt for the junior from Harlan, Iowa, out of the hold of Connor Stephens. The snap from Isaac Kakmarinsky. It's got the distance, and it hits the upright and bounces out. Plenty of distance.
Plenty of distance, yeah. He had a good shot at that.
Would have been good from 65 the way it looked to me.
Absolutely.
But as it is, it hits about halfway up the upright and bounces out. First down and 10 for the Chargers, and they'll get pretty good field position here as the defenders will turn it over from their line of scrimmage. Previous line of scrimmage, that was the 38. Keep an eye on some of the other scores as they happen. Women's soccer, Dordt and the College of St. Mary should be underway here shortly, and they are. It's scoreless. Saya back to pass. Saya out of the backfield. Pass is completed to Chase Thomas, and that'll bring up second down and 6 after a 4-yard pickup on the play. Maybe a 3-yard pickup on the play. We'll call it second and 7. The defenders trying to stay unbeaten in conference play, and overall, they do not play a non-conference game this year. Briar Cliff does have a non-conference win to their credit. That was a win over St. Ambrose earlier this year to open the season. Since then, wins over Hastings, Dakota Wesleyan, Mount Marty. Handoff, weaving his way forward, and the football comes out, and the Dordt defenders come up on top of it. So the Dordt defenders knock it away again on the carry by Iman Pittman, and Dordt tackler knocked it away. Just punched it out, and the Dordt defenders forced their third turnover of the contest and get the football back near midfield.
Yeah, Pittman's best run of the day didn't end the way he wanted, as you mentioned, Dordt forcing the fumble. Great play by the defense to get the ball back into the offense's hands.
9:23 left to play in the third period. Dordt leading 24-0.
Take a shot deep here, Mike, after the turnover.
Two receivers set to the far side. We'll see. Going to run option, pitch it over to Fritz. Fritz has a blocker up the sideline, 40, 35, and forced out of bounds. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds back at the 41-yard line in front of the Dordt bench. Too many people to see through, so didn't see him step on the line there. It's going to be first down and 10 for the defenders, though, after the pitch play to Fritz. And Fritz got a blocker, and that was enough to pick up the first down. First down and 10 at the Briar Cliff 41-yard line. Strickfaden has Velverty and Fritz in the backfield with him. Defenders have spread things out today. A little banged up at running back. This is Fritz, and Fritz. Tackler, Kyle Gibson, makes the stop, and Fritz. Glad to see him pick himself up and walk back to the huddle with no damage being done. It's second down and 10. Looker is to the near side. Beal is to the far side. That's the narrow side of the field. That's the far sideline, Briar Cliff sideline. 8:20 and counting, third quarter. Dordt leading 24-0. Dordt with the football, though, in Briar Cliff territory. Dordt has controlled much of this game, helped out by Briar Cliff turnovers. Fake the handoff. Pass is complete over the middle to Williams, and Rhett Williams takes out. Spot at the 29-yard line, and as you noted earlier today with Briar Cliff's tight end, Rhett Williams that time just boxes his man out, gets position, and is there to grab the pass.
Yeah, and just a smart route. Briar Cliff was in his own coverage there, and Williams was able to find the little hole in the zone and just make himself big inside there. Easy throw and catch for a first down.
First down and 10 at the 29-yard line. Noah Strickfaden has Valverde behind him. Dordt threatening again. Your center is Evan Beck. Evan Beck snaps it back to Strickfaden. Play action. Pass is incomplete. And it looked like our receiver, Beal, stumbled on his cut.
He did, yeah. He just wasn't able to complete his route, and Strickfaden threw the ball where it was supposed to go. But with Beal's little slip on the route, defensive back had a golden opportunity for an interception there, but just couldn't haul it in.
Jaden Self shaken up on the play. Looked like he might have stretched out a little bit too far, and he cramps up in the process. It's a hot and breezy day here at Open Space Park, and every time I see a play like that, Kyle, I'm reminded that you always look at me and say, they're on defense for a reason.
They're on defense for a reason. Yeah, that's a play that you see most receivers catch the ball. Defensive backs, it's always a little bit iffy.
And it was bouncing around, and then he fell, and then the ball, all in all, it's going to be second down and 10, and it doesn't look like anything serious with Jaden Self. I believe that's number 8 down on the field at least as they stretch that cramp out. But
yeah, that's a cumulative effect of a pretty warm week throughout, and it's not just the heat and dehydration from today. It's the week's worth, and I know Coach has probably been preaching to their team all week. Stay hydrated, because it's going to be a warm one on Saturday. But and a lot of times it's just, you mentioned it, probably stretched out a little bit on the play, and looks like the calf seized up on him.
They're still working with him. And a reminder that coming up at the conclusion of our contest today, we will have the Ross Hoekstra State Farm Player of the Game. That one's still in doubt in my mind. We're also going to squeeze in some highlights that are brought to you by Hague Health Center, proudly serving your local community for nearly 60 years with a commitment to healing body, mind, and spirit. That's going to come up at the conclusion of today's game. Still some work to do. 7:21 left to play in the third period. The Dordt defenders leading Briar Cliff 24-0. So 24-0 our score. And the Dordt defenders will have the football. Second down and 10 at the 19. Beg your pardon, the 29. And we will resume play. And that gave everyone a chance, a water break, an impromptu timeout, if nothing else. Second down and 10, Strickfaden, back to pass, pump fake, looks deep, has Flora. Flora up for it, and Flora, was he in bounds? No, he was not, and the ball trickles loose as well as he falls to the ground. And it'll be third down and long. So Ben Flora, that was the play they wanted, and the ball was thrown up for grabs, and he very nearly comes down with it. It's going to be third down and 10. So third down and 10 on the way. At the 29-yard line. Valverde in the backfield as the defenders try to extend the drive. And now do we have a timeout on the field? This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Dordt will use their first timeout of the second half. We'll be back with more right after this.
Broadcast is brought to you by RA Rentals. Looking for top-notch rental equipment for the next project? Look no further than RA Rentals, located in Sioux Center, Spencer, Storm Lake, and Sioux Falls. RA Rentals, your regional equipment rental experts. Discover more than just inventory, service, and financing for Ford models. Mao Motor Company is committed to exceptional customer service. Mao Motor on Highway 75 North in Sioux Center. Online, maomotor.com. Today's broadcast brought to you by Hague Health Center, proudly serving your local community for nearly 60 years with a commitment to healing body, mind, and spirit.
Third down and 10 on the way for the defenders. Dordt leading 24-0, trying to extend the drive. Get it inside the 20. It's likely a first down. Strickfaden back to pass. Noah flushed from the pocket, rolling right, scrambling, stops, and throws it up the sideline. Incomplete. And it'll be fourth down, man. The defenders will send the field goal unit back onto the field, trying to extend it to a 27-0 game for the second time here in the second half. This field goal attempt will be a little bit closer. The last one was from 55 yards. This one will be a 47-yard field goal attempt. And Connor Stevens will hold. Isaac Kakmarinsky will snap. Last one had plenty of distance. I don't think that's the question. It's a matter of can you get it in between the uprights on a windy day. Snap is down. Kick is up. Kick is good. Through. And the long field goal by Stephen Leinen. And the Dordt defenders lead it 27-0. And I would say that one close enough that he took his regular approach, didn't have to drive it as much, and easily had the distance with the wind.
Yeah, got a little bit more height on that one, and probably helped his confidence knowing that distance wasn't going to be an issue. Just working on his accuracy and put that one through the uprights.
The defenders now lead 27-0. Still pitching a shutout. And now Shane Ladaghi off of the Briar Cliff sideline, and I'm not sure what he's conversing with the referee about, but He is engaged in conversation with him as his special teams unit gets set. Over on the soccer pitch, the women's soccer team and College of St. Mary underway. They're about 20 minutes into that one. It is College of St. Mary and Dordt scoreless in a critical Great Plains Athletic Conference soccer game for the Dordt Defender women. They want to keep pace. Haven't been beaten yet in the conference. Have been tied. Had that excuse me tie a couple of weeks ago against Dakota Wesleyan when they were forced to play a person short much of the contest, and we won't get into that, but unfortunately had to play a person down and then eventually two people down, and they got out of Mitchell with the tie and still unbeaten. See what happens today when they play the Flames, and that's a very capable team. Linen. This is going to be a squibber taken inside the 10. Run out to the 20, to the 25, and a nice open field special teams tackle by Zach Queering. So Zach Queering on the tackle, and it'll be first down and 10 for the Chargers. Inside the 25, down at the 21, and we see a kickoff where it's inside the 25.
Yeah, nice job of coverage there by the defender coverage unit. Good open field tackle by Queering. Forcing a little bit of a more challenging field position start for the Briarcliff offense.
Johnson is your right defensive end. We've also got Elijah Dougherty. He's the upright defensive end over on the near side. Send a man in motion. They pitch it quickly, and the forward pass is complete. The little shovel pass inside, and there for the tackle for the defenders immediately is Trevion Dawson. Dawson, nice play that time, stayed home, and Jaden Westbrook is brought down after a 7 or 8 yard gain on the play for Briarcliff on the quick shovel pass inside.
Yeah, just a little different look here by the Briarcliff offense, trying to get to the edge with a little bit more speed, and yeah, they were able to leverage the Dordt defense a little bit for a nice 7-8 yard gain.
Second down and 3 for the Chargers. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Whiting in motion, the tight end. They hand it off to Thomas. Thomas, nothing there, and as the game has gone along, it's gotten tougher and tougher for Thomas. Does the defense see something? Are they? I mean, at this point of the game, are they keying on something that they're seeing in the line when they come up to line up?
Yeah, and I think they're probably a little bit more focused in on Thomas. I'm sure they heard at halftime a little bit about his numbers and his efficiency running the ball, and doing a good job of getting the secondary guys, the safeties, involved in the run game.
Third down and 4. Football is at the 27-yard line. And back to pass. And under pressure is Saya. Gets away from one tackler, and he is brought down. 3 defenders there. Buckholtz there to finish him off. I think Queering was in on it as well, and Isaac Kakmarinsky was in the neighborhood, and the Dordt defenders get to the quarterback again this afternoon for another sack and a big loss on the play.
Yeah, and that's a field position killer right there for this Briarcliff team, because not that they were in great field position, but when you back them up inside their 20 for the punt, Dordt should start off in really good field position here.
They were facing second down and 3. It is now fourth down and 13, so the last 2 plays went 10 yards the wrong way. Rugby kick, and again, it's down at the 45-yard line, and Valverde will let it drop. First down and 10 for the defenders at the Briarcliff 44-yard line. So first down and 10 for the defenders at the 45-yard line, 44-yard line that is, of Briarcliff, with 4:40 left to play here in the third period. It's been mostly Dordt this afternoon. Briarcliff's offense has had their set of challenges moving the football, 112 total yards of offense, 77 on the in the air. Handoff to Piper. Piper, the ball carrier. Piper picks up 9 yards on the play. It's going to be second down. Dordt has 17 first downs to Briarcliff's 6. Briarcliff's been limited to 35 yards rushing thus far.
Yeah, nice job by Piper finishing that run. I think he probably was contacted about 3 or 4 yards downfield, but just kept the legs churning to get a nice 8-yard gain.
Strickfaden 51 yards on the ground. Fritz 34, Piper 22, Velverty 21. Velverty, of course, has the 2 touchdown runs. Piper gets the handoff inside the tackles, picks up a first down to the 30-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the defenders at the Briarcliff 30.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Penner this week, he really wanted to play some good, solid physical football in the run game, and those last 2 plays, it was just a matter of offensive linemen doing their job, getting a good push up front, and Piper running solid.
1st down and 10 for the defenders. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Rhett Williams in the slot. Back to pass Strickfaden off play action. Pass is incomplete. Intended on the play for Ethan Snyder, the senior from Sioux City, Iowa. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. So 2nd down and 10. Fritz Jr. will run it in from the sideline. Snyder will check out. So 2nd and 10 as Dordt takes a shot down the field. The passing game has been a challenge today. Saya has completed 11 of 19 with a long of 14 for 77 yards. Noah, 9 of 22 passing for 92 yards and a long of 28. Strickfaden fakes the pitch, runs option, keeps it himself, and he picks up 2 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 8. So the defenders leading 27-0, 3:13 and counting, 3rd quarter. So the defenders in control of this one. Briarcliff will have the wind in the 4th period. Right now the defenders leading by 4 scores. Strickfaden has Piper behind him. Man in motion, Fritz, handoff Piper. Piper, and good penetration that time by Philip Benjamin, but we've got a flag on the play as well at the 25-yard line. That's a little bit downfield, so I'm going to guess an illegal block potentially.
Yeah, I don't know if they got kind of a high-low on the offense, couple offensive linemen, or if it was a holding call. But this is a tough one here for Briarcliff. I mean, you're obviously well within field goal range, but do you back up this Dordt offense and give them another opportunity, or do you force a 4th down here?
It looks like they are going to take the yards. So a chop block is the call. And I was just thinking the vicinity of the flag and where it was thrown probably had to be something of that nature. What that does is it brings the football back to the 43-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and a whole bunch. For the defenders, well, you pick up some yardage here. Maybe you go for it on 4th down. I'm not sure. This might be the outer reaches of Stephen Linen's range today. Football at the 42-yard line, 3rd down and 22. Back to pass is Strickfaden. Briarcliff brings pressure. Pass over the middle, incomplete for Williams. And that's going to bring up 4th down. 4th down.
Got to give him a chance here, Mike.
And Stephen Linen's going to come out. He's going to kick. He's going to attempt what will be
59, 60.
That's going to be 60. I don't know that people realize what they're watching here. 60-yard field goal attempt at the NAI level. Stephen Linen had the leg on. Now this is his 3rd field goal of the day, of the 2nd half. See if he's got the leg. Snap is down. Kick is up. Kick is through the uprights. And a 60-yard field goal by Stephen Linen after being denied of a plus 50-yard field goal earlier in the half by the upright. Stephen Linen from 60 yards. Bang! And the Dordt defenders with a 30-0 lead. 2:34 left to play in the 3rd period. Let's take a 30-second break. You're listening to Dordt Football on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more right after this.
We strive to build community from before you step foot on campus to years after you graduate. We want to give Dordt students the chance to live and learn together and create create meaningful, lifelong relationships that are rooted in faith.
The 60-yard field goal from the midfield stripe gives Dordt a 30-0 lead, and I know everyone out there is saying, well, what's the Dordt record? 2 years ago, Stephen hit a 58-yarder in Hastings, Nebraska. It was a breezy day as well, but in both cases, he has shown that he's got the leg. And the distance isn't always the issue, and he's got his confidence now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even the one off the upright, he knows that a foot to the right, and that thing's good from 55. So, and even with this wind, a lot of times coaches aren't attempting that because of field position, and you worry more about the accuracy and how the wind may affect that.
Back to pass is Saya. Saya pass over the middle, incomplete. On the defense was David Bowman. It's going to be 2nd down and 10. So 2nd down and 10. What a weapon, and what a weapon you take. It's so easy to overlook or take for granted. Just it's such a pivotal part. I mean, when you play a defensive style of football, which I think the defenders are kind of settling into that, the field position is probably the biggest factor in that.
Absolutely, and we've seen how both teams have struggled throwing the ball, especially downfield. So it's tough to put up a lot of points in a hurry, so you just want to be able to put up, even if it's 3 at a time, having that weapon is huge.
Pass completed to Whiting. Whiting has had a pretty good day. So for Linen, in case you're wondering, that is he hit one from 51 earlier this season as well for his career. That is now his 3rd of 50 yards or better, and he has several of 45 and longer. 3rd down and 5 for the Chargers after the 5-yard completion to Stephen Whiting. Briarcliff trailing 30-0. And Saya back to pass. Saya pressure. Dordt brings the pressure, and down he goes. Yeah. Cole Johnson off the edge.
Yeah, great job of timing up that. Just a little bit of a delay in that blitz. Came untouched and, made the sack.
So Saya goes down. I believe that's the 5th sack of the day now by the defenders. And the Dordt defense and Coach Joel Penner, and talked to Brandon McCormick too, and he said, I don't know that Briarcliff has seen a pass rush like we feel we can bring. And so far today, with less than ideal conditions because of the wind, the Dordt defense has risen to that challenge and have gotten several quarterback sacks. This one's high in the air and another getaway ball, and Keenan Belverty a little close for my liking, and the ball drops at the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the defenders with 59 seconds remaining in the quarter, and this is where the knife really cuts both ways for Briarcliff, because you've got to throw to get back in the game, but the clock stops on the incomplete passes, and therefore you give the football back to Dordt, and I hate to say it, they're in field goal territory right now.
They are, absolutely.
30-0 our score, Dordt leading, football at the 44-yard line, 1st down and 10. Turn, hand, give to Fritz. Fritz the ball carrier. Fritz inside the 40 down to the 35-yard line. So first down carry by Fritz. He picks up 8 yards on the play. And for Dordt, officially, that is their 5th sack of the day. Offensively, it's been 144 yards on the ground, 92 in the air. Dort's been very opportunistic and won the field position battle. Hand off to Valverde. Valverde bounces to the outside looking for the hat trick, and he is brought down at the 21-yard line, 1 man away from finding the end zone for the third time today. And that one might be the last play of the third period on the Keenan Belverty carry for another Dordt first down. First down and 10 for the defenders at the 22. It's going to be the end of the quarter. So Dordt gets a couple of field goals to go up 30-0 as the third quarter comes to a close. You're listening to Dordt football on KIHK and watching the Dordt Media Network. We'll be back with the fourth quarter of play right after this.
Is Dordt Media Network live?
Welcome to Sioux Center, Iowa. Life in the center of everything. Where we connect with friends, coworkers, family, and the great outdoors. Knowing that in Sioux Center, you're never far from making the next great memory. And we grow great companies that make cutting-edge breakthroughs to make life better here and around the world. And when it's time to play, we keep friendship, family, and a bright future at the center of everything.
Welcome back to Open Space Park, where the Dordt defenders lead 30-0, and they're threatening with the football at the Briarcliff 22-yard line, moving now into the wind. 30-0 our score. Strickfadden fakes the handoff, pass to Beal. Beal grabs it into the end zone. Touchdown defender. So Dordt goes to the air. They've had a couple of near misses and finally get one timed out. Elliott Beal with the touchdown grab, and Dordt leads it 36-0. And if there was any doubt before, it appears the defenders putting the finishing touches on this one.
Yeah, it's a real uphill battle here for Briarcliff to try to come back from a
36 pending 37.
Yeah.
Point after attempt on the way. Connor Stephens will hold. Snap is down. Kick is up. And the kick is through. And Stephen Leinen makes it 37-0 with, what is that? His fourth point after. 3 field goals. He has scored 13 points today for the defenders, and the Dordt defenders lead 37-0. Now, you posed the question, Kyle, is that a GPAC record? My quick perusal, because I don't have everything up in my head, proved that earlier today as well. 60 yards, I think, is the record. I think Eli Stater from Northwestern actually has a 60-yarder to his credit as well, so that ties it. I had thought there was a kicker from Midland or Hastings, I thought, that had a 61-yarder or something like that, but I'm in all likelihood misremembering. So
well, and GPAC's been around for a while, and I know, and I wouldn't be surprised if Hastings had a kicker along the way do that. They've had some good ones in the past, but we got a great one here right now.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Blade Coons when he was punting. You took so much of that for granted, and it's such a weapon to have. Stephens will be kicking off with Dordt leading 37-0. And this one into the wind, and it'll curl towards the sideline. Takes a bad bounce, and it'll go out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That'll be the delay of game penalty. Briarcliff will have great field position with the wind to start. First down and 10. They'll have it at the 35-yard line. 30.
Yeah. I tell you what, Briarcliff's fortunate that that took a sideways bounce, because if that if that bounces back, it stays in bounds. Honestly,
there were two players that had a pretty good run at it.
Yeah, Dordt was going to end up with the ball there.
First down and 10. See, I thought it was the 35. They start putting it at the 30. I do pay attention. I mean, 35 is out of bounds, 20 on the punt, 25 on kickoffs, fair catches as well. You've got to remember all those different scenarios. So first down and 10, and the handoff and the carry by number 9. That is Iman Pittman. Pittman not listed on the 2-deep this week, but he has had he's seen significant action this season, and he picks up 18 yards on the play, one of the longer runs from scrimmage for the Chargers so far this afternoon, trailing 37-0. So Pittman, 3 carries now, over 20 yards. Briar Cliff limited so far to a net of 29 yards rushing. They've had those sacks that have resulted in negative yardage. First down and 10 in Dordt territory. Handoff goes to Chase Thomas, and Thomas nothing there. It'll be second down and 12. Okay, we've talked about the defense wanting a shutout, and we talk about that at length. For the offense, is it the goal now? We got to get in and score. Is that how you're thinking?
Yeah, you want to. Honestly, this game is probably decided in terms of who's going to win the ball game. So in terms of the Briar Cliff sideline and their offensive coaches, they just want to find some positive things to extend into next week, and so they want to put together a drive. So I don't think you'll see them necessarily just throwing it every down. Obviously, they had a couple run plays just to start this drive, but they want to establish something and run their entire offensive package.
No, I know that's the theory. I mean, bottom line, does it matter? When you show up to practice next week, did it matter? Does it matter to do that?
Well, yeah, I think you just want to start you want to continue to develop your team throughout the season. And if you get into a situation where you feel like you're just throwing it every down, and that makes it so hard because the defense is going to figure that out and defend it well. So you want to stay pretty balanced, I think.
Second down and 12, Briar Cliff football. Saya, we had a player shaken up with a cramp the way it looked, and Saya will dump it off underneath. And this is Pittman again, and Pittman rambles his way forward, and once he gets momentum going that way, he's tough to bring down. He picks up a first down on the play. It'll be first down and 10 for the Chargers now at the Dordt 36-yard line. Similar situation we saw earlier in the half, and the defenders were able to come up and make the stop. And with 13-18 remaining, the defenders still pitching a shutout at 37-0. Briar Cliff, though, I wouldn't say threatening, but they've got the football in Dordt territory at the 35. Fake the handoff to Pittman. Saya dumps it off underneath, and the pass falls incomplete. Very nearly threading the needle. Intended on the play for Ivan Funderburk, and it'll be second down and 10. Second down and 10. Before the game's over as well, Kyle, we have Dordt Media Network. We're a little short-handed this week, so want to make sure we Tyler Vandermolen still in the area, coming back, helping us out, directing today's football broadcast. And I'm guessing it's just like riding a bike. You just settle in again. But thank you to Tyler for helping us out this afternoon, helping to make this possible. A lot of people go into this machine. And the pass is completed on the far side, Jaden Westbrook. In fact, we're going to be letting Tyler pick the highlights that he shows in the postgame as part of that Hague Memorial highlight package. Third down and 7. The Dordt defenders trying to get the defense off of the field. Briar Cliff, in all probability, 4-down territory here. They need the Dordt 26-yard line for a first down. They're at the 33. Saya gets a snap down around his shins, picks it up, steps up in the pocket. Pass is broken up, incomplete. Cole Johnson knocks it away, and that'll bring up fourth down. So Johnson knocks it away. He comes up a little bit lame, favoring that left leg. Checking back into the game now will be David Bowman, and when the defenders have had to rotate people on defense, they've been moving people, safeties up to linebacker. They're a little thin at linebacker right now, and hopefully they can get that rectified over the next couple of weeks. Fourth down and 7. Saya trying to keep the drive alive. Brock Saya back to pass. Blitz coming. Pass is complete and a first down. Completion to Chase Thomas. And he did exactly what a quarterback is supposed to do. Where did the blitz come from? He throws right to where that was, and the receiver was wide open on the play.
Yeah, he was, and he did a good job of finding the sticks, knowing what he needed for the first down. That was the number one priority for the Briar Cliff offense, is just to pick up that first down, keep this drive moving.
First down and 10 for the Chargers at the 25-yard line. Stephen Whiting moves from left to right. Briarcliff, handoff Pittman. Pittman, the ball carrier. Pittman spinning, and he's inside the 15-yard line down to the 13 before he's finally brought down by Colson Queering with 11:20 left to play in the contest. But we do have one of those pesky flags on the ground at about the 26-yard line, and that usually means it's coming back. I didn't get the signal. Was it a hold?
It was a hold, yep. That's a tough one for Briarcliff. They had some good things going, but now they put themselves in a
tough spot.
Tough spot, first and 20.
Well, you've got 4 plays to do it.
Exactly.
So Briarcliff did have a field goal attempt earlier today. That was blocked. That was near the end of the first half. First down and 20, Briarcliff. Saya has Pittman in the backfield with him. Whiting a motion. Left to right, back to pass is Saya. Saya under pressure. Saya outrunning the defense and intended for Pittman. And the pass falls incomplete. It will be second down and 20. Second and 20. Saya running for his life that time. Saya, 15 of 27 passing. 108 yards so far. So when he has had completions, Dordt has limited the damage. They haven't been vertical with their passes.
Yeah, and Briarcliff has been forced to settle for anything underneath. Good job of the defensive secondary staying over top of the deeper routes.
Second down and 20. Saya in the pistol, back to pass. Under pressure, dumps it underneath Pittman. And Pittman, Isaac Kakmarinsky stays low on him. Picks up 4 yards on the play. It's going to be third down and 16. Well, the Dordt soccer team has taken a 1-0 lead, women's soccer, over the College of St. Mary Flames. Looks like it is at or near halftime. Jocelyn Terpstra with the goal. Oftentimes she is overshadowed by Karina Tell. Karina Tell probably, I don't think you'd get much argument. She's the best player Dordt women's soccer has had, and they've had some good ones. No offense to any of those who have come before. Third down and 15. Back to pass. Saya. Saya looks left. Pass completed. Chase Thomas. Thomas turns it back to the middle of the field. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage for this set of downs. It'll be fourth down and 10 as he has it right at the DU Cross logo at the 25-yard line.
And Briarcliff leaving the offense on the field here in the 4th and 10 situation.
You want any GPAC scores?
We all do.
Concordia 31, Mount Marty 28, beginning of the 4th. They're scoring a bunch of points in Yankton. Wow. They aren't scoring a bunch of points in Orange City. 10-9 Hastings. Saya facing fourth down and 10. Back to pass. Saya. Saya steps up in the pocket. Might have been a hold on the play. Pass is incomplete. Had the man open. That was intended for Westbrook again. And the pass falls incomplete. It'll be Dordt football, and the defense gets off of the field. 9:20 remaining in regulation. And if you're Dordt, I would like nothing more than just chunk it down the field, just 3-4 yards at a time.
Yeah, I think you're gonna, and we're gonna see some new faces on the field here for the Dordt offense.
So we will see Colson Cruz in at quarterback, Preston McCoy, your running back, Keenan Velverty still back there as well. Moving into the wind, Colson Cruz turns, hands, gives to McCoy. McCoy, what about a chunk? He's 40, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. 5, Touchdown, Preston McCoy. And how many times has Preston done that over the course of his career? He toils away there on the depth chart, and he gets limited opportunities. But, man, when he gets them late in games, he makes teams pay, and he goes 75 yards to the house. Preston McCoy, the senior from Galva, Iowa, and the touchdown for the Defenders.
Yeah, nice hole to run through, and Preston took advantage of that, got into the secondary pretty quick, and was able to finish the run in the end zone.
So much for chunks of 3 and 4 yards at a time. Shazam. Stephen Leinen on to attempt his 5th point after of the day. Snap is down. Kick is up. And that kick knocked off of the filming stand. And the Dordt Defenders have a 44-0 lead. 44-0 our score. Dordt leads. Back with more. KIHK and the Dordt Media Network right after this.
Hello, Dordt University sports fans. Hope you're enjoying the game, whether you're a family or friend of a team member or a fan of the university. These players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. There's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has for each game, and that's a game plan. And no matter the outcome of the game, there's tremendous value in growth in working together as a team to execute that game plan. What about you? Do you have a game plan for your financial life? Or are you so busy with everything else that life throws your way? October is Estate Planning Awareness Month. Did you know that over 60% of U.S. adults do not have a will? And for the 40% who do, many of them are very outdated. But with many things regarding finance and law, it's difficult to know where to start, or what your options are, or how it fits with your entire financial game plan.
Kicking off for the Defenders. Into the wind will be Connor Stephens. Stephens, that one flutters up into the breeze at the 15-yard line to the 20. And downed at the 20-yard line. Nice coverage that time by the Dordt defense, by the Dordt special teams. That's Kyler Borg, freshman from Remsen, Iowa. Second year with the program. Did not use up a year of eligibility, though, last season. And Defenders have some kids that are waiting their turn. You start looking at some of these athletes, and you have to have it. You've got to keep things going perpetually, but you've got to have guys that are willing to do that.
Absolutely, and that's their place to shine there on special teams, because you're probably not going to get a lot of defensive or offensive reps. So,
well, if you're a linebacker this year, you might.
Well, other than that position, you're right.
Briar Cliff with the football, handoff to Thomas, and Thomas not much there that time as he got bottled up. It's going to be a loss of 1 on the play. It's going to be second down and 11. Second and 11. I was taking a closer look at those games taking place that we're keeping an eye on in conference play, and over in Orange City, that Northwestern Hastings game, Northwestern's kicker Giovanni Cabango has 2 plus 50-yard field goals. And same deal. I'm guessing those were with the wind as well.
Yeah, you're not kicking probably more than a 25-yarder into the wind today.
Hastings also scored 1 touchdown on a 5-yard interception return. So that's how that one. That's by far the best game of the day in terms of closeness. Pass is incomplete, broken up that time, and breaking the pass up, I believe that was Dordt's Trevion Dawson. So Trevion Dawson, he's gotten some spot action over the last couple of weeks as well, and he knocks it away, 3rd down and 11.
Yeah, nice job by Dawson really targeting the ball. Ball was really well thrown in the hands of the receiver, but Dawson targeted the ball, was able to knock it loose before the receiver could secure the catch.
8 minutes and 14 seconds remaining. Dordt still with a shutout, 44-0. Saya trying to engineer a drive, though, facing 3rd down and 11. They hand it off to Thomas. Thomas, the ball carrier, and not much there for Thomas. Picks up maybe 5 yards on the play. It'll be 4th down and long, and for the Briar Cliff Chargers, no choice. They've got to punt the football away from deep in their own territory. You don't want to just hand the football back to the defenders, and Keenan Valverde will station himself at his own 30-yard line. And for the first time today, I think Briar Cliff will be punting with the wind.
Right, and
well, they did earlier, and Dordt got a piece of it.
That's right. I kind of hope they get this off. I'd love to see Valverde with an opportunity to return one today.
We're at the midpoint of the fourth quarter. Dordt leading 44-0. Valverde at about his own 38-yard line. They get the punt away. Dort's had some near misses. This one's going to
land out
go
of
out of
bounds,
bounds.
but a really good kick.
Yeah, if that one doesn't go out of bounds, that ends up in the end zone. And I'm looking to make sure no flags on the play. Well, we've got one at the 40.
It might be a holding on one of the return guys. Should be post-possession.
Yeah,
now, I think. Back us up probably another 10.
Right now they've got the ball spotted at the 22 on the Dordt end of the field.
Oh.
Procedure penalty. Called it on Dordt. So 5-yard penalty. The officials will come over and give an explanation to Joel Penner. Joe Kenny not buying it the way it looks.
No, I'm not sure what the procedure would have been there, but
yeah, I mean, just and the location of the flag as well.
Yeah,
I've got more questions than answers right now.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get an explanation from the officiating crew. Maybe something to do with the sideline, blocking somebody out of bounds or running out of bounds and coming back in. I'm not sure.
Neither am I. And with 7:24 left to go in the game and the score 44-0, it's all academic at this point. Colson Cruz in at quarterback. Got Preston McCoy, who went to the house 75 yards the last time he touched the football. They hand it off to him again. No, Cruz is going to roll right. Dumps it off underneath. Pass is completed and rambling 40 yards, 45-50. And that's more than enough for a first down for the Dordt defenders. And the pass completion for Dordt to Nick Geeson. Geeson, a sophomore from New Prague, Minnesota. He makes the pass catch on the completion from Colson Cruz on the boot play. And he's at the 49-yard line.
Well, and you mainly just wanted to get the ball out of that poor field position. Now we're out at midfield.
Cole Snyder lined up at a wide receiver over here on the near side. Cruz turns, hands, gives to Valverde. Valverde gets a block. Valverde to the 47-yard line, the 43-yard line. So a pickup of 6 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 4. Make it a pickup of 7, a 2nd down and 3. 6.5 left to go in the game. The defenders will improve to 4-0. Off to Forest City next week. 2nd down and 3. And after that, things get pretty testy on the schedule, I will say that. Handoff goes to McCoy. McCoy again. He could go again. He's to 30, 25-20, 15-10, and pushed out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Well, we did not have anyone close to 100 yards.
We do now.
Before Preston McCoy. Preston McCoy, 75 yards for his first carry. And our live stats not quite keeping up. Doesn't mean they aren't getting him scored. There we go. He's over 100 yards. What do you know? Preston McCoy, your 100-yard rusher. 2 carries.
Awesome.
Those are some Kyle Achterhoff numbers.
Yeah, right.
Colson Cruz fakes the handoff, pitches it over to McCoy. McCoy to the 10, runs over a tackler inside the 5, down to the 4-yard line.
I only got 5 on that one. That's going to hurt his average.
Down at the 5-yard line. So 2nd down and goal to go at the 5. And Colson Cruz up to the line of scrimmage quickly. Wants to go quick, hands it off Valverde. Valverde weaves his way forward, close to the end zone. He's going to be stopped just shy. It's going to be 3rd down and goal to go at the 1. 3rd down goal to go at the 1.
Just want to take your time here.
4:40 left to play.
As possible.
Yep. 4:40 left to play in the contest. Dordt leading 44-0 and threatening to put 50 on the board. Third down goal to go. I'd be shocked if we didn't see something just simply in between the tackles here. Keenan Valverde, a couple of touchdowns so far today. Colson Cruz turns, hands, keeps it himself, and Colson Cruz into the end zone. Touchdown Defenders, and the Dordt Defenders lead at 50-0 with 4:14 left to play in the game. So the Defenders up 50-0. So it's 27-0 at halftime. And the Dordt offense, by the time this one's all said and done, they're going to have a couple of extended drives that are really going to blow that yards gained. Blow that up.
Yeah, a couple of explosive plays, big chunk plays here in the last two series.
Stephen Leinen, snap is down, kick is up, and Stephen Leinen splits the uprights. And the Dordt Defenders, their sixth score of the day, sixth touchdown. And it's 51-0 with 4:14 left to play in regulation. You're listening to Dordt Football on KHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute.
Nation, my name is Darren Kaiser and I'm excited to serve as the new athletic director at Dordt University. Thank you for tuning into the Dordt Media Network and supporting Defender Athletics. As an athletic department, we are committed to the Defender way. This means we are committed to the Great Commission, developing servant leaders, the academic development of our student athletes, and the pursuit of championships. I'm eager to join with you in supporting our athletes this year. Thank you for watching Defender Athletics on the Dordt Media Network. Go Defenders!
Well, the Briarcliff Chargers, a bit of a mental error there as they touch it on the way out of bounds, and that is where Briarcliff will take over first down and 10. And it'll be at their own 20-yard line. In all likelihood, their last possession with 4:12 left to go in the contest. Dordt with a 51-0 lead and looking to preserve the shutout here. Briarcliff, seems like that wind might be picking up a bit as well. Handoff to Pittman. Iman Pittman picks up 3 yards on the play. It's going to be second down and 7. Second down and 7 for the Briarcliff Chargers.
Yeah, and I think both sidelines here are looking to get this game wrapped up as quickly as possible.
Second down and 7. Briarcliff Chargers check on their schedule here as well. And the handoff to Pittman. Pittman, the ball carrier. Pittman to the 25-yard line to the 26. For Briarcliff, after today, they host Northwestern next week. And remains to be seen what kind of scenario it is for that contest. Right now, the Dordt Defenders are going to stay unbeaten in the league. Also staying unbeaten will be Morningside. Morningside having no problem today with Waldorf in Sioux City. Concordia and Dakota Wesleyan, that's probably the one that's got my interest the most in terms of impact on the conference standings at this point. Saya, 2:50 left to play in the game. He hands off to Pittman. Pittman straight up the middle. Picks up enough for a first down to the 31. It'll be first down and 10 for the Chargers at their own 31-yard line. So first down and 10 at their own 31-yard line. The Defenders in Morningside will stay unbeaten in the league. Concordia trailing Mount Marty now 35-31, about midway through the fourth quarter. So that one has significant ramifications for the conference standings, simply because Concordia right now unbeaten. Mount Marty trying to change that. Saya barking signals, hands it off to Thomas. Thomas short of the first down. He's stood up at the 35-yard line, and that'll be the last play before the 2-minute timeout. So 2-minute timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more from Open Space Park in 1 minute.
Broadcast is brought to you by RA Rentals. Looking for top-notch rental equipment for the next project? Look no further than RA Rentals, located in Sioux Center, Spencer, Storm Lake, and Sioux Falls. RA Rentals, your regional equipment rental experts. Today's broadcast brought to you by Eric Rankin, a proud sponsor of Dordt University Defender Athletics. For all your investment needs, call 712-722-0618 or visit edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, SPIC. Members Cut, more than meat, where strong values, great food, and hometown spirit comes together. Stop in and taste the difference community makes. Located just south of Scooters on Highway 75.
This is a Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast.
Second down and 6 after the 2-minute timeout. And I mentioned earlier the wind. Anything that's not tied down or nailed down is going to blow away today.
We got some papers blowing around here in the box, huh?
Well, I saw one of the signs that I had on the board, on the doors here up in the press box as well, to designate where people go. That one was destined for Sheldon earlier as it flew across the field. So we have a penalty on the play. Briar Cliff, 5 yards the wrong way. False start. It'll be 2nd and 11. 2nd and 11 for Saya and the Briarcliff Chargers. Saya turns, hands, gives to Thomas. Thomas tripped up at the 35-yard line, out past the 36, and it'll be 3rd down and long. And just because we're having a little difficulty communicating directly with the truck, I'm just going to say get ready for Isaac Kakmarinsky on the player of the game afterwards. So we'll outline that, take some of the suspense out of it, but want to make sure we get that graphic up during our post-game show, so get ready for that back in the truck, Tyler. Brock Saya facing 3rd down and 5. 1:20 left to play. Running east-west is Thomas, and Thomas nothing there. The Dordt defense comes up and makes the stop, and even though it is a little deeper in the depth chart for the Dordt defense, those guys playing with some pride as well and doing a pretty nice job of stopping Briarcliff's first team on offense. So Briarcliff will be punting. And the Chargers are going to lose for the 2nd time this year. The game that really got everyone's attention was when they beat Mount Marty at Mount Marty after Mount Marty had beaten Northwestern. And trust me, it was not lost on me when I looked at the schedule of how that was playing out. And the defenders, Valverde lets it go over his head through the end zone, and with 35 seconds remaining, the defenders will have to run one play. It was not lost on me, the scenario, and the Dordt coaching staff and players, credit to them, they did not overlook this Briarcliff team whatsoever.
Absolutely, and you can't. With the league right now, some of those teams that were kind of towards the bottom of the conference previous years seem to be playing much better football. And I think this is an improved Briarcliff team. I don't necessarily think that this score was totally representative of how good they are. They're going to give some teams some problems in the league.
Well, it just got going downhill in the wrong way on them. Snap is the ball is snapped. That's the end of the ball game. Dort's going to win it by final score of 51-0. So the Defenders win it 51-0. The Defenders will improve to 4-0 this season, both overall in the conference, and the Defenders are off to Forest City next week to face the Waldorf Warriors. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back to wrap things up with the Wireless World postgame show right after this 2-minute timeout.
Hello, Dordt University sports fans. Hope you're enjoying the game, whether you're a family or friend of a team member or a fan of the university. These players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. There's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has for each game, and that's a game plan. And no matter the outcome of the game, there's tremendous value in growth in working together as a team to execute that game plan. What about you? Do you have a game plan for your financial life? Or are you so busy with everything else that life throws your way? October is Estate Planning Awareness Month. Did you know that over 60% of US adults do not have a will? And for the 40% who do, many of them are very outdated. But with many things regarding finance and law, it's difficult to know where to start, or what your options are, or how it fits with your entire financial game plan. But you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, the planning firm here in Sioux Center has been helping households build and execute their financial game plans on all the things more important than money. I'm Tom DeYoung, president of the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media. Check us out on the web or social media, or schedule a complimentary Discover meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. We'll help you build your financial game plan on all the things in your life more important than finances, while being a good steward of the resources God has entrusted to your care. And check out our Money Concepts Radio podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com, on your favorite podcast app, where we dive into relevant financial planning topics to bring clarity to the often confusing, ever-changing rules of the game in the financial world. Enjoy the rest of the game, and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money. And go Defenders!
As Hague Health Center is proudly serving your local community for nearly 60 years with a commitment to healing body, mind, and spirit. If you didn't get it done right now, just do it at some point as we wrap things up. The Dordt Defenders with a 51-0 win over the Briar Cliff Chargers. For the Defenders, 290 on the ground, Briar Cliff 64. 148 yards passing for the Defenders, 118 for Briar Cliff. Noah Strickfadden, 10 of 25 passing, 114 yards. Preston McCoy, 3 carries, 112 yards. Noah Strickfadden, 8 for 57. Keenan Valverde, 9 for 46 and 2 touchdowns. Thomas Fritz, 8 for 43. Brendan Piper, 9 for 37. Colson Cruz had a carry for a touchdown as the Dordt Defenders get 5 into the end zone. 6 into the end zone. Also had Elliott Beals touchdown reception. He had 4 receptions for 68 yards. Isaac Looker had 2 catches for 26 yards. For Briar Cliff on offense, Brock Sias, 17 of 31 passing, 118 yards. Thomas, 18 of 72 passing. He was 18 carries for 53 yards. That's Thomas. Pittman, 6 carries for 37 yards. Thomas, 5 catches, 35 yards. Whiting, 3 catches for 20 yards. Defensively for Dordt, they were led today by Isaac Kakmarinsky with a total of 11 tackles, 8 solo and 3 assists for the linebacker. Also had 2 solo stops. Ethan Mills in on 7 stops. David Bowman, 6 tackles as well. The Defenders, Thomas McCullough had an interception. Johnson, Queering, Kakmarinsky, and Buchholz, that was Zach Queering, each had a quarterback sack apiece. The Defenders got on the board first with a Stephen Linen 44-yard field goal, making it 3-0 midway through the first period. Keenan Valverde then had a couple of touchdown runs of 4 and 2 yards. Noah Strickfaden had a 14-yard touchdown run to cap a 36-yard drive, and Stephen Leinen, the defenders went into halftime up 24-0. In the second half, Stephen Leinen, after missing a field goal, knocked one through from 47 yards. Moments later, hit a 60-yarder. And Noah Strickfaden found Elliott Beal for a 22-yard touchdown to make it 37-0 early in the fourth period. Preston McCoy then a 75-yard touchdown run, the first time he touched the ball today. And Colson Cruz ends it with a 1-yard touchdown run on a 6-play, 83-yard drive to make the final 51-0 after Stephen Leinen split the uprights for the sixth time this afternoon. Dordt wins it 51-0, and the concern that the defenders had was stopping the Briarcliff passing game. They did much of that by putting pressure on Saya, forcing him to make plays, and on a windy day, just seems like that was probably just a little bit too much for him to handle.
Yeah, good job by the defensive unit for the Dordt defenders, just keeping Briarcliff off rhythm and in a little bit tougher situation. So good job overall by the defense. And, yeah, you always worry about this bounce-back game coming off a big emotional win a week ago, and how's your team going to react, and just an overall solid football game.
Off to Waldorf next week, and that is a team that has had their share of struggles this year. Last year really came in here as a wounded animal at the end of the year, and the defenders handled things pretty easily. It is still another week, though, and it is still, you have to give your opponent the respect. You've got to give the game its respect, and you go out, and each week is an opportunity to improve, and I think the defenders probably need to do that this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't take anyone lightly. You respect every opponent, and, it's a road game, so that's always its own little element that can be challenging. So you just want to go there, play well, do what you do, handle things, and maybe allow another week for the Connor Dodds and some of those guys to get healthy, because I think you mentioned it earlier, Mike. There's
it's a gauntlet. Once you got Mount Marty here, you got to go to Hastings yet. You've got Concordia, you got Midland, you've got Morningside. I mean,
it's a tough final stretch, really.
The last 5 weeks will have its share of challenges, obviously, and next week you go to Waldorf and Forest City. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to take one more break, and then we'll be back to name our player of the game, and then we'll shut it down and check the scoreboard. But that's going to be it for Kyle Achterhoff. I'll let you go and beat traffic. How's that?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, that's Kyle Achterhoff. We'll be back with the final word in 1 minute.
Dordt is a place where students flourish.
What stands out about Dordt's mission is how they prepare us as students to face a world that is in need of the Word of God.
We are seeking to embody discipleship. What does it mean to faithfully follow Jesus?
Hastings got the ball back, I think. Kabongo missed it. Well, we've got a few things to wrap up here at Open Space Park in Sioux Center, Iowa. One of them is our player of the game, and I alluded to it earlier so we could get everything lined up, is Isaac Kakmarinsky. He is today's player of the game, brought to you by Ross Hoekstra with State Farm, serving Sioux County and the tri-state area. Call Ross, 712-722-0806 for all your insurance needs. Stop by the Sioux Center office next to Dairy Queen. State Farm player of the game today is Isaac Kakmarinsky. Isaac Kakmarinsky, a critical part of Dordt's defense today as the defenders shut out Hastings 51-0. And for Isaac Kakmarinsky today, 8 solo tackles, 3 assisted stops, a couple tackles for loss, and everything he did doesn't always show up in the stat sheet. Put pressure on the quarterback as well. Covered the perimeter really well, covered the flats, and the Isaac Kakmarinsky is your Ross Hoekstra State Farm player of the game. Scoreboard check then for the Great Plains Athletic Conference, and I think we've got an upset in Orange City as I try to decipher if it's actually over or not, and I think it is. Looking at it online, yes, I believe a field goal late that would have won it, missed. Hastings hangs on to win it 10-9 over Northwestern. Morningside a 62-0 winner over Waldorf. It is Concordia leading Mount Marty now 45-35. That's with about 4 minutes left to go in the contest, and with under 5 to go, Dakota Wesleyan leads Doane 33-7. Game you just listened to, Dordt defeated Briar Cliff 51-0. GPAC soccer, Hastings men over Waldorf 3-0, Midland over Briar Cliff 3-0 in men's soccer. Also in men's soccer, Dordt an upset win over Bellevue 4-2. Women's soccer, the Dordt women currently leading College of St. Mary. Want to double check that. It was 1-0. It is still 1-0 with about 25 minutes left to go in that contest. Dordt clinging to the 1-0 lead. Dordt cross-country teams earlier today had a couple of third-place finishes. Third to University of South Dakota and Creighton, so no slouches there. And the hockey team, they're playing Arkansas this afternoon. That one's just underway. Volleyball, the Dordt women will be facing the College of St. Mary Flames. Volleyball action JV is underway. Varsity will get started at about 5 o'clock this afternoon at the DeWitt Gym. I think that is going to do it. I think that is all of the information for you on this Saturday afternoon, so it is time to roll the credits. This has been a production done in partnership with the Dordt Media Network, Sioux County Radio, and the Dordt Athletic Communication Office. Dordt Media Network is under the direction of Rich Lodewijk, and his staff is primarily student employees. Broadcast engineer at Sioux County Radio today, Nathan Brook. And Dordt Media Network, our football broadcast today, under the direction of Tyler Vandermolen and his cast of very able student employees. Dordt Athletic Communication staff is Matt Boss and Isabel Pfeiffer. Color commentary today was provided by Kyle Achterhoff. And a special thank you again to our students. This is break on the Dordt campus. And many of them elected to give up maybe a quick trip somewhere and elected to stay back and help us out with several broadcasts. We only had 4 of them today, so we thank them for doing that. And we could not make this little machine called the Dordt Media Network run without our student employees, and we thank them again for their bang-up work once again this afternoon. That's going to do it for our broadcast. For all those fine individuals, have a good evening.